Take two. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Synth Geekery. Forgot to press the go live button. You'd think I'd know what I'm doing by now after how many years I've been doing this. Anyway, hi, everyone. It's Saturday. It's about 9 o'clock over here. I'm streaming live from Western Australia. If you don't know where that is, I don't know. Maybe you should go back and do geography at school. No, it's down the bottom of the earth somewhere. Don't worry. Kangaroos jump around, things like that. Anyway, it's lovely to have you. Jump on to the chat and say good day. Tell us where you're from. If you really are Australian, you could even say things like crikey.
Crikey.
Jeez.
Stroof.
We have lots of cool people here. We have the video guest. We've got one coming, which is hopefully he hasn't slept in the alarm, past the alarm or anything. We also have StreamYard down the bottom, and Chris has joined us. And the StreamYard link is pinned in the chat. But just in case you can't see that, there it is there for you. It's pinned in the chat. So if you're not watching the chat, you can click on it. But there you can copy that down. It's easy to get into. Please join us in StreamYard. It's good fun. And obviously our regulars are here as well. So yeah, we'll start the show. Don't forget that it is a YouTube channel. We're streaming you live free. It's ad-free. So if you can support us somehow, there's channel memberships, there's Patreon, there's all sorts of cool things like super chats and stuff like that. They're much appreciated. Even if you can't do that, if money's tight, do a subscribe, a thumbs up, a share. Those sort of things always help. Let's start with saying hello. Start with, why don't we start with StreamYard today? I reckon that'd be cool.
Yeah, g'day.
Start with Chris.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Chris.
G'day. How's everyone
Hi,
going?
Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Hey. Well, my week started rather nicely. I got a lovely email from Mr. Andrew Brooks talking about the new module, which is now very ironic given what we're going to talk about later in the show. But anyway, that was really good. That put me in a great mood for the rest of the week. So, yeah, it's great. Yeah. Been doing a bit of work on
my role.
We'll get to that. And Ranzee's been doing a bit of testing, and we've been talking about it in the Discord. And I've done a few modifications to the firmware to try and improve some issues, and that's all going pretty well up until tonight. But other than that, I've been tracking with the tracker. So been playing a bit of fun with that. So I won't afflict you with any. Did a bit of middle of the road house with it.
I've been playing with your poly end.
Yeah, I've been playing with a poly end tracker. So I've been trying to get to grips with that, and it's not been going too bad. I've got a few problems with pops and clicks, which I need to look into, and maybe some comparison with other people. Well, it is on.
Have you got a problem
1.7.
with?
Oh, okay.
Have you got a problem with sticking buttons?
No.
Not yet. No, not having any problems.
Do you have a problem with sticking buttons, do you?
I do. Yeah,
Ooh.
I've got two that's sticking.
Bugger. Yes. So that there was also the TR6 update, which is Roland TR6. A nice update for that, and
CR78. Thank you very much. ACB too.
Yeah. And of course, when you've got a CR78 kit installed, you of course have to immediately test it by going.
Yeah. Got to have a bit of an Ola.
So, obligatory Ola going. Anyway, so that, so pretty much that. That's pretty much been my week.
So instead of saying OMG, you said OMD. Awesome. Don't worry, I won't do any more jokes today. Let's go backwards, and we'll start with Brooksy. How are you, mate?
Hi, fine. Back at work, full teaching week, knackered. Went round to Grace's after the show last week, and we did a jam for Hardware Jams, 909 week. Used Chris's module. It worked brilliantly. It was absolutely fab. We had got a great patch going, sending different triggers all over things, nice little flams going. 909 toms bouncing around the place. It was great. We had a good patch. It was working fine. Sorry, Chris, it's not working now.
You broke
Yes.
it, Brooksy. You broke it.
Yeah.
It's broke, or it's
Yeah.
not working. I don't know what. I don't know what.
It's acting very dead, isn't it? Like there's no life coming from it whatsoever.
It's asleep. It's not
I
dead.
know.
It's asleep.
Oh no, not the parrot
I patched
sketch.
it up. Yes, I patched it up about an hour ago, a little over, trying to create a new patch for Grace and I later on this evening. And I was wondering, why on earth am I not getting any gates out of it? Why is it not sending gates out? What's happening? Why is it not any gates? And then I saw, and I repatched it, following the instructions again, which cable in where and why, And then I thought, that LED's not on. Oh dear, that LED's not on. So I took it out of the case, tried it with another power cable, tried it into a different bus cable, and then I put it into the Go case, which is powered completely separately. No light.
No,
And all the other modules in the rack seem to be working absolutely fine. So I don't know what's happened, because there's been no nasty bang or horrible smells or whiff of burning. Nothing like that. It can't be plugged in the wrong way around because it's got shrouded headers. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know what. I really don't know what. Anyway,
We'll
that's
try a
that.
few things. And
Sorry to drop that one on you.
no, it's all right.
Drop that
It's all right.
like a
These things
sack of
happen.
spuds on your toe.
Unfortunately, this is why we do testing.
Yeah.
I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, we'll move on to
we'll
Ian, and we'll keep talking about the module in a minute anyway.
Yeah.
Hey Ian, how are you, mate?
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good night. Yeah, good week, really. I have been playing with my Polyend tracker, and I have to say it's not what I'm used to, but I quite like it. Apart from the two sticking keys, and apparently I've had a look, and it is a bit of an issue.
Which keys are they?
And the
which
ones
keys
on
are they?
mine are config and perform. But actually, on Reddit, somebody had contacted Polyend about it, and they say, "Oh, just keep pressing it," which I don't think is a particularly good result, really. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. Just keep pressing it, and eventually it will stop. It will stop
free up.
sticking. But, yeah,
Smash it.
which
Or
is
stop
a
working
bit,
altogether.
Yeah. I'll stop. Yeah, exactly. I'll stop working altogether. Yeah,
It's a bit like that Behringer thing I got, the VP 330 clone, and it had the female voice button just would not work, and the only way to get it to work was by smashing it as hard as you physically could do it. It's turned on. There we go. And whilst you've got a broken fingertip.
Yeah, but back in the day, I never played with trackers, so it is completely new and alien to me. It's music by spreadsheet, really, isn't it? I actually say I quite like actually, because it's something different. I'd already boxed this up for shipping for when we go the TR8S. So I had to get it out again to do the update because and it's great actually. Absolutely brilliant. So
it is good.
But that's pretty much it, really. Dealing with house stuff, which nobody wants to know about because they're sick of hearing about me. But that's my week.
Fantastic. We shall. Have we got Andy? Yeah, we got Andy. He's turned up. How are you, mate?
Yo, Andy.
Hey guys. Hey, speaking of sticky keys, Ian, this is why I have this marker here, because this does stick. So you got to work it out once in a while, and it stops sticking. So you have the same problem with your tracker.
That's the dreaded red, whatever it is, isn't it?
This isn't red glue.
glue.
This one, no.
Yeah, the red glue.
No, red glue's in this guy down here who's very sickly. I have to fix him.
Okay.
I got the JD08 in the meantime, so I can still have the sounds handy. But because I don't use the Roland Cloud that much. I have it, but I don't know. It's just kind of I tinker with it, but I'm not really an in the box guy most of the time.
Same.
So I like having the hardware.
Yeah.
Even though the sounds are the same, I just like the hardware.
And it's a pain how it keeps popping up and asking you to authenticate. Like, it just really, really annoys me. Stop doing that.
Yeah. And it's just if I could run them standalone once in a while, like I used to do with a lot of VSTs, that would be great. But I think you have to have the cloud running all the time to use the modules, right? I don't know. I haven't used it that much, but don't you have to have the main app running to do all the goodies?
I've never tried it standalone, so I can't answer that.
Yeah.
But someone might be able to. Yeah,
Yeah,
I haven't got
that was my way of doing VSTs for a long time, and then I got into loopers and stuff. But
yeah, I've always just
Yeah,
used it
otherwise,
as a plugin.
yeah, no, I mean it's fine if you're living in the box. It totally makes sense. I'm just not really. So I did get the Ableton deal with the Novation coupon thing, so I could, if I do want to get a push 3, I'm ready to go. So I have the Ableton suite, but I still don't even use it that much. You know, I want to play with the some of the weird stuff in Ableton that's not typical.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's the best stuff actually in Ableton.
I mean, obviously, what's stopping?
Yeah,
you
like
from
the stuff
getting
they
a push
inherited
3 is
from the
Force.
Yeah, Force is fun. I just don't use it that much. I like the Machina Plus better, but they all have their strengths. You know? I think
do
until
like
the
the
Push
push,
3
though.
came out, the best pads were the Machina Plus. So
Oh, okay. I do like the
not
the
really-
push though. I like the original, and I think it's a cool thing. I think Darren, you've got a push, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got a push. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a push 2. I've not used it for a while actually. No, it's just I don't get used much.
It might be worth getting, Andy. It might be. You kind of like that. So it's standalone.
I think
this one,
so.
So yeah.
I mean, the cost is way lower once you already have Ableton, right? So,
Yeah,
If you've got Ableton, it is.
but I like the
slightly lower,
MPE pads and it looks nice, and so we'll see. That'll make me use the DAW more if I have the Push 3. So
Yeah. Well, yeah. Watch this space, I guess. Eh? Are they shipping yet?
yeah,
They're shipping, aren't
exactly. I know some people have ordered them, but I don't know if they're actually shipped them yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen
But
anyone sort of in my socials go, "Here's my Push 3," because I definitely know some guys would be getting it, but I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe jump
other
on
than
it.
that, it's been just business as usual. I tried to watch Comet Nishimura. It's got a 420-something year period, so it's a once in a lifetime comet, and I missed it. It got lost in the early morning sky on Monday morning. I tried to
Yeah,
find it.
so
and I
for you
couldn't,
guys, it
so.
was early morning, and for us, it was just before sunset.
Yeah.
So and
We could barely get it here then too. That's when my friends saw it.
Yeah, it
But
was
now it's too
it wasn't the
close,
best.
and it. Yeah, it won't be.
I think people that lived in like New Zealand or Hawaii or even eastern parts of Australia, they had darkness, so they saw it better. I believe.
The other problem too is my prime viewing location for it has no signal, so I couldn't live stream it even if I wanted to. So
Yeah.
that's the way it goes.
Get that Elon Musk satellite thing.
yeah.
Well, I see a lot of those.
Yeah, but
Actually.
you can just
They're
add
all over
them
the
when
damn
to-
place.
when
The
to switch it
Starlink
off.
satellites are everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like space junk up there.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. Well, they're not really in space though, are they? They're kind of they're still in the planet's atmosphere. They're not technically in space.
Well,
I'm
I mean,
pretty
it's a
sure-
lower orbit than some. It's not as low as Iridium, but it's it's up there. But I did see the Chinese space station go by. That was kind of fun.
Did you wave? No.
Yeah, they're taking photographs.
Yeah, they're spying on us. Yeah.
Yeah. I always just pull the pants down and show them the real moon.
yeah.
There you go.
Boom, boom.
That's
Darren,
fun.
how are you, bud?
Yeah, all right, not bad. I think I'm a bit like everyone else. We're all seem to be having issues this week. We're either working or having issues. I've just been having issues with MIDI and USB, just trying to get things to work properly. Because 1 minute it works, and then the next day it decides it doesn't work. You know what USB is like. Sometimes it gets found, and then sometimes it decides it doesn't want to be found. So, other than that, yeah, fine. Nothing to report really.
It'd be nice
A
if
live
USB
T-shirt
worked.
I've got.
Nice T-shirt.
Yeah, it's a live one before I go live.
Cool.
So
It's cool.
I said get that. But yeah, USB and MIDI, I was just having issues basically. Everything works fine one day. Don't touch it. Next day, it just doesn't see things. I don't know why.
Is this a laptop issue? Do you think maybe?
It's a USB issue, isn't it? I always have them. It'll work its way out. I'll find out.
I kind of feel like some laptops like USB better than others. It's just kind of the chipsets that they use, or I don't know what it is, but it's. I've found over the years I've had computers that absolutely can't stand USB. You always have issues like what you're saying, and then some others that you get are completely reliable. It's weird.
I know. Well, I've been mapping this. Just like, oh god. See, USB. I'm gonna have to take the USB out of it now, so watch it not work later. I've just
disconnected.
I've just been mapping that, so
It's about time you used
that was interesting. Yeah, it is actually. Well, I said it was always going to be for live use, so
yeah.
And it's that I love the thing to bits because it's great because you can do so much mapping with it. I got that lost in all the mapping in the amount of stuff that I've mapped on it from other things I had originally, which I haven't used. That I was sending all sorts of messages out that I thought I'd mapped out. So when I was pressing one button, it was setting all sorts of things off, and it was like a nightmare going through it, trying to work out what for set to what. So yeah, everyone else this week seems to be having just minor issues that need ironing out.
Well, don't forget we saw you mentioned the track listing for Mr. Rave.
Oh, he's not happy with me. He's not happy with me at all. He's very upset because I said we'd finish his album, but he's been helping me with live set, so we've not had a chance to finish the album. So it's going to be late, unfortunately. But yeah, I think that's about all. I think.
Yeah,
I'm working.
I saw a photo of the live setup somewhere. Where did I see that?
Facebook.
Facebook, it might have been. Yeah,
possibly. Or
I saw some bags with the little mixer in.
Oh yeah, I saw the bags.
Oh
yeah,
I've not seen anything else.
That's not fun. No, there was a stand. There's a ton with.
There was a stand. Yeah,
nothing on it.
Yeah,
with nothing on it yet. So.
It's a work in progress.
It's well, everything that goes on that stand is in front of me now.
Well, there we go. We've got through everyone. That's awesome. Now,
I bought a stand as well.
I think Darren's probably going to be interested in this show this week because you already know what it's about, Darren. The only thing is you don't actually have any Akai MPC / Force products in your studio.
Do I or don't I? Is the question.
No.
Oh, here we go.
If you do, then you haven't been telling us.
Keep your secret.
I mean, I've got to go live somehow.
Okay. Well, you need to disclose some stuff to us. Anyway, so if you're wondering what my cryptographic message is, if you don't read the title of the thumbnail, we are going to be showing at some stage today.
Nope.
This little baby here connected up to an Akai Force and an MPC Live. In fact, I can. What I will do is I'll show you just to prove that it works. I've got a couple of screenshots that I've done with my phone. The first one is the MPC. So there it is there, MPC Live connected to the Roland MX-1. And then the next one is the Akai Force connected to the Roland MX-1 via USB. So later on in the show, we'll check that out actually live, and you guys can see what it's possible to do. So yes, it does connect. There's a couple of caveats. We'll go into it though. There's a couple of caveats with how to get it working here, and I'll definitely run that through with you guys. And so before I do want to say a big thank you to Macrodosed, or we know him as Stephen. So because he brought it to my attention. I don't know why I didn't even see it. I must have literally not read that thread on that forum. Interesting, because I actually do frequent that forum quite a bit. So, weird. But it's good that people are on the ball and definitely checking stuff out for us. We should have chatties. I don't know why the chatties is not working. Oh, I know why. Ian, we restarted Remix, didn't we?
We did.
That explains it. Because I connected the chatties and I'm thinking, why is it not working? And because we restarted, I have to reconnect. Hello. Hello. Come on. Oh, you guys can watch that. There you go. Hi to all the chatties. Yay. I think you get the yellow Guernsey this week, Andy. Because, yeah. You were up late.
Yeah, I got up a little early. So I sent you that stuff. I don't know if you saw my email. But
yeah, I did. I got it. I've got all of it. I don't know if we'll go through all of it, but I got all of it. Thank you for that anyway.
Yeah, it's a lot. Sorry.
Kev Humans there. Keith and Watford, one of our channel members. Big hello to you. Brett Lemmings. Simon. Great Batch. Big hello to you. Prometheus. Andy Synchrotron. Where else? Scrolling. I mentioned before those people. Madcat Modular is there. Matt Brown. Wagoo. Homegrown. Kosh Dukai. Lots of familiar people. Path Lake. Who else?
Lovely David.
Merbit's there. Lots of people that we... Legacy Hand. There we go. That might be a new one. Hello all, Legacy Hand says. So big hello. Let us know where you lurk normally. That'd be nice to know. I'm pretty sure that's a new person. Tell me if I'm wrong. My memory does slip me
new names
sometimes.
too.
Yeah. Having a few there with yours. I think it's scrolling. Kissing the Machine. There we go. To Sophie Music. Azio Heads joined us. Oh, we also got the Intergalactic Federation, which is Dazza. Big hello to Dazza. Dazza's been on the show before. And it's scrolled, of course. Neil Wharton. Failed Muso, which is Robbie. Big hello, mate. I think that'll do for now. I think David's jumped in, one of our channel members. Awesome. Right, so if you guys do see the people in the chat room and they've got little sort of stars next to the name, it's because they're awesome. They're channel members, and it's really easy to become one. You just click on the channel member icon just below your YouTube stream, and it should be join. I think it says join or something like that. You guys have done it. Anyway, do that if you wish.
Can I point out a little shortcut to you, Ranzee, which Grace showed me when we've been doing the Hardware Jams stream throughs, and that is where at the top where you've got the top chat live chat thing and the three little buttons, the three little dots on the right hand side. If you click on those, there's a tab there that says participants, and it lists them all.
It doesn't list them all though. That's the problem. I found that I'm aware of it as well. Ooh. I found that it doesn't list them all. Yeah, which I don't know. Well. I don't know why it doesn't list them all. Anyway.
I was trying to help. Sorry.
No, it's definitely a helpful tip. And maybe it's just my channel. I don't know. But if I click on that now, I probably only get maybe 13 people in there. And there's definitely more than 13 people in the chat right now.
Yeah. Okay.
It says to me, there's 40 something, and that's going to change any second now. Yeah.
47 watching. Yeah.
Yeah. In chat,
it's the same for me actually.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, and there's a few people that I'm seeing in chat that aren't in that list already. So, anyway, we will move on. But a good tip anyway.
Weird.
Yeah.
All right.
Probably just my channel. Let's do some segments. That one. Boom. FL Studio Arcade Machine. Get it into you. It's funny. Spot the sequencer? I don't know. Weird. Next. This one came in from Robbie. I think you guys would have guessed that. Everyone calls the DX7 an FM synth, but it's technically linear phase modulation. This one I had to chuck in because they got a few laughs on Discord during the week. how users see the IT guy, how the IT guy sees the users.
True. Very, very true.
I thought we could probably change it and change users to, I don't know, Ben, and then IT guy to synth player.
Synth players see guitarists or drummers.
Yeah,
Sorry, or guitarists and drummers.
We could do that. But anyway.
It's a bass player, isn't it?
This one's got nothing to do with synths, but I don't know why, but I really laughed when I saw this. This is really pathetic. I don't know if you guys ever played with Mr. Potato Head when you were a kid.
Definitely.
Yeah. Lots of fun with Mr. Potato Head. But I don't think I've ever seen...
Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't remember ever seeing Mr. French Fry, though.
No.
I mean, yeah, that would have been pretty cool, actually.
Mr. Poem Freak.
All right, now this one. Oh, wasn't this a beauty? This is going to upset everyone. This is the Boomer Synth User Survivor Pack. I think some of the graphics has come off. I don't know why. Anyway, tweezers so your sausage fingers can use those tiny sliders and knobs. MIDI USB to DIN converter for those who haven't accepted USB as a cool thing yet. A stack of floppy disks to store your patches and samples because you still don't trust USB. A magnifying glass, Darren, so you can keep whinging that all the screens are too small. And a mood ladder filter, as you clearly live in the past, and no other ladder filter, or filter, I should say, could possibly sound as good anyway. Actually, noticing in the side of the bag, there's a Korg micro preset card.
Exactly.
That was very clever.
I hadn't spotted that. Well, yeah, preset. That's. Oh.
All right.
Some people
now
have
that
time
we
on their hands,
look,
don't
I'm
they?
not a boomer. I'm a Gen X, so that didn't insult me at all.
Ditto.
I am a boomer.
Yeah.
I am a boomer. What is this USB thing anyway?
When does one stop on the other start?
Get off my lawn.
Yeah.
Yes.
When do boomers become Gen X's then?
Isn't boomers born in the 50s?
Boomers are baby boomers, so yeah, 40s, 50s, 60s, somewhere loosely
I
around
thought
there.
Gen X
maybe.
was at 1980s.
Gen X is 70s and 80s, yeah.
I was born in 69, so
You're probably a Gen X. I think boomers just before you. Yeah.
probably.
You're only a young pup, don't worry. Okay,
Yeah.
what was your favourite meme? Chatties, let us know what your favourite meme is. Some of them are saying it already. Matt Brown saying IT guy. Prometheus is agreeing with him.
IT was good. Like the lad on the bed,
IT, yeah.
texting his girlfriend.
Real close to home, yeah.
There you go. Matt Brown saying Gen X starts in 66. A lot of people like the
there you
boomer
go.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the boomer one.
Gen X then.
All right. Cool. I think maybe the
I
boomer
feel
one
suddenly
might
very
have
old.
Mad Cat Modular is saying my name. I don't know why. What? What's up, mate? What do you need? Look at that.
Yeah.
What can I do for you? Let me scroll up and see if I've missed something from him. I don't see anything.
CZ forever.
You got my attention. Speak or forever hold your peace. I'll keep an eye on you. Beautiful. We're going to get on to the next segment anyway, which is news. Got a bit to do this week. What a bit to do. Yes. Well, we're going to start with a whole bunch of products that have come out from our mates over at Feedback Modules, which I think, they're pretty cool, those guys. Starting off with this one, which is a ARP 2600 VCF module. Let me get my notes. Why do I not have my notes up? What happens when you restart in? Everything just goes wrong.
Everything disappears. But at least your mic works this time.
Older USB.
Yeah, ain't USB. All right,
Yeah,
what have we
yeah,
got
yeah.
here? We have got, I might just get up my docs on this other page here. The VCF 2600 is based on the ARP 2600, as I mentioned before. It uses the LM3900 Norton op-amp chip for those playing along at home. I don't know how many people would actually know what that is, but for those that do, they'll be like, oh, yes, well, that's fantastic. And the rest of us will be like, cool story, bro. Pretty much. We just want to know how it sounds. Don't worry, you'll get to do that in a sec. There is visually you can see this 2 CV ins with attenuators for both. There's an attenuator for the audio input as well. There's frequency and resonance as you would expect on a filter and out. I'm just wondering which ARP 2600 filter is the LM3900 Norton op-amp one, because that one
That's a proper nerdy question.
That kind of had me scratching the old noggin for a sec. But yeah, maybe we should do this. Oh, you guys can't see that, can you?
No.
Nope.
No.
Negative.
Silly body. Restart. Give it a sec. Oh, it's going to crash on me, isn't it? Please crash. Yep.
Crash.
Stupid computer. This is what happens.
Well, you
it's
see,
working.
we've been having issues all week with bits going wrong, and it's still
Yeah,
continuing.
it's
Here we
that
go.
sort of week, isn't it? Yeah.
Let's start again.
Yeah.
Let's get to the filter in a sec. Here we go. Okay, so that was the wrong video. that was the wrong
I didn't
video.
want to say anything.
I'm trying to think,
I thought
where's the
maybe-
filter?
Maybe they changed the name to Low Fusion, but
filter's
no,
very,
no.
very,
I made it bigger.
That is the wrong
That was the
filter.
VCA and
That was the
Squeeze
VCA
2, I
video.
think.
And I don't think he's got a video on the VCF. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
No.
We should keep going because there's a lot of products, and we'll go through them all, and then we can talk about it afterwards. So there's the filter. The next thing is the VCA, which you just saw the video on. That is an ARP 2600 VCA. It's based on, I don't know, thermocoupled transistors. Geek talk again. AC and
true.
DC inputs with exponential and linear CV inputs, controls for gain input, and CV exponential as well, which you'd expect. Now, if you've ever used a 2600, you'll know exactly what that is, because you've got the ability to patch either CV or linear with the VCA on the 2600 rails. So that's actually cool. You can do that on there. It's only 4 HP. I'll tell you all the prices of these in a sec. So VCAs, you can never have enough VCAs, as they say. And I don't know. How different does a 2600 VCA sound from, I don't know, a Dopefer VCA or a Roland VCA, Behringer VCA? Who knows? Someone will know.
I guess it's how you drive them, isn't it?
It's probably that. The next thing is, I reckon this is all to do with the ARP 2600, because now we have an envelope follower. And the envelope follower, I think, he doesn't say it, but I think it is based on the 2600, because he says it's based on, what did he say on his website? Based on a classic module from the 70s. It could be a 2500 maybe. I don't know. I don't think there was a 2500 envelope follower. Anyway, the in signal is bifurcated. How do you say that word? Bifurcated?
Bifurcated.
Bifurcated?
Bifurcated.
I don't even. What does that mean? Bifurcated.
Split
it means
into
it's
two.
split into two, right?
Split
Why
into
can't you
two,
just say
yeah.
split into two? Why do you have to be so clever with your
That's
words?
too many syllables.
I
Come
mean,
on.
it's nerdy equipment. Why not use nerdy terms? So
Yeah.
The in signal is split into two to the EG follower circuit, and also a through output, so that you can actually hear the original signal. The envelope follower has 3 controls to switch to select response time, fast, medium, and slow, and also a control to adjust the gate threshold and a control to adjust the EG level. It's only 4 HP. Envelope followers are cool. If you haven't ever got one, ever used one, you should try one. They're in quite a lot of things, actually, envelope followers. Like, for example, the recent Behringer Pitch to CV module had one in it. Yeah. No, not the Pitch to CV. What's it? The Radar, sorry. The Radar one with the contact mic had one in it. Anyway, whatever. Next.
Well, one of the famous settings is getting a sitar-like sound out of your gear. So.
Yeah, because it's kind of percussive in a way.
Twangy.
Yeah, twangy. Next one is Sub. Sub, or S-U-B. Son of a bitch. No. This module takes square wave inputs and produces a -1 and -2 octave frequency to their respective outs. Now, you can actually have both, or you can mix it, which is a mix of both. So you can see the 3 outputs there. The input is also, you can actually put anything in there, any audio input into there. Darren, I need to specify. When I said anything, I meant audio input. There's a selector switch for you'll notice too. There's a selector switch for pulse and square. So yeah. Now with the audio input side of it, if you don't put a square wave in, you can use it kind of like a little mixer that'll let you add different levels to the 2 octave outs. So it's kind of dual purpose, this module. But hey, I can see this module being really handy with some of these Behringer single oscillator, 3 modules into one, like the 110, where it doesn't have a sub, and you can turn this thing into an SH101. Bang. So handy. Next is the Squeeze 2 or SQZ2. It's based on the original, but they've improved with some through-hole components. I'll talk about that in a sec. But okay, so a Squeeze is basically a compression module. Less is more. Makeup. It's really sort of basic in terms of compression. So if you want a compression module where you don't have to think, this is probably the one for you, because compression can do a lot of people's heads in with thresholds and ratios and attacks and gain staging and stuff like that. So for those people who don't really understand how compression works, this might be good. But it's got a THAT or that 4305 Blackmer VCA chip in it. If that helps anyone, then there you go. It has a continuous adjustment of gain, threshold, and compression ratio with a single control. So basically, what you are doing is exactly what that little graphic says. You're kind of slowly squeezing the compression as you go more, right? So literally, you have hardly any compression at less, all the way up to like maximum compression. Now the makeup is a gain, basically a gain control. So you can make up what audio you've lost through the compression. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So if you've ever played with compression, you'll know sometimes you lose, amplitude. That could be that. Next, LFO 20, another LFO, but this one is based on a couple of extra kind of things. It's a completely analog LFO for a start, and you've got a wave-shaped square and triangle plus extra inverted triangle output, which is the INV. And there's a reset and a gate input, and multiple LFOs can be chained to get complex gates and CVs. The other thing that might be useful for this is it's got quite a long minimum setting of more than 1 minute for an LFO. So that might be cool for some droney sweeps, that sort of stuff. There's some other LFOs out there that have got longer. And also, CV mixing can get you longer as well. Okay, that is it from them. I'll just run through quickly the prices. The ARP 2600 VCF is €90. The VCA is €75. The sub is €60. The envelope follower is €65. as well as the LFO20, and the Squeeze 2, which is the compressor, is €75. So they're all relatively inexpensive modules. Most of them are 4 HP. I think they're all 4 HP except for the VCF, which is 8 HP. Yeah, any questions, comments? Did we get has feedback jumped into chat? Because I did invite him. I don't know if he's come, just in case there was anyone asking questions.
I haven't seen. Oh yeah, Chris has got a bundle of them.
Well, just one here.
Hang on, let me just go to Chris. Stay there, Chris. Stay there.
Which one's that then?
Hello. That's the Squeeze 2.
It's got the Squeeze.
Mark 2.
Oh, you've got the Punk as well.
Yeah, I've got that's right. Yeah, the Punk
I've
and
got
the
Punk.
Squeeze.
Yeah.
Punk. Yeah, no, the Squeeze is pretty much does what it says on the tin.
Yeah.
It does it in a typical analogy one way. It's only mono. It's only single channel. So best used, I think, I quite like putting on like a snare.
Yeah, drums.
Create a bit
percussion.
of a snap compression. Quite good for that.
Yeah.
But if you're not really going to be putting it on a bus, even though with the lack of controls, it kind of lends itself a bit to that. But it's because it's mono. Yeah, it's definitely sound creation type.
I've got a stack of his modules because he sends them to me. But this one, I always show this.
Oh yeah.
This is kind of really cool. This is one of my favorites that he's done. I mean, it is a beautiful looking module with the gold and the white and the black. Just that alone with the really, really big switches on it. But just have a look at the amount of electronics in this sucker. That is like, it's one of the heaviest modules I've ever had, and it's just completely crammed with through hole.
It's fully stacked.
And you also like the fact that the chips have got sockets, and it's just so good. He loves through hole, by the way. He does talk about through hole on a bunch of those modules as well. I think the Squeeze 2 is through hole. Yeah. By the way, that 1-bit multi-tap delay is a digital delay, not analog. So it's based on some early bit delays that were around. Deck. Yeah. Maybe 80s. Around the 80s, I think.
Yeah.
Probably around the 80s. Maybe early 90s. I forget when it was. Okay. ARP 2600. Don't forget you can get an ARP 2600 VCO from Behringer as a module. It's literally, it looks like the 2600. It's literally like a black module.
It's about a 3-month wait on those at the minute.
Yeah, I've got one sitting there.
Oh,
I wish they brought out. I think it'd be a good idea if they brought out a VCA, VCF, maybe the ring mod. All the 2600 stuff modularized into eurorack, so people can just bits it around their gear. They don't have to make a 2600. They can have a 2600 with a Roland thing or a Dopefer thing. I think it'd be good. There are other people that do it, like AM Synths do it. So if you don't want to wait, go to AM Synths. And also, speaking of AM Synths, they've recently dropped their price on that. What was it? The keyboard tracking module that I showed a few weeks back. So it's now cheaper.
Ping or whatever it is, yeah.
Thanks for that, because I bought it and now it's cheaper.
Oh, I hate that.
I hate that. Anyway. Anyway, I'm a big fan of feedback modules. They make a lot of good stuff. I think some of us here have all got some sort of feedback module at some stage. Yeah.
I haven't yet. I keep meaning to go. Yeah, well, I just wait. Where am I going to bloody put it? Because there are a couple that I'm interested in there. Definitely, that Punk distortion for certain. I think is one to get. And actually, I quite like the idea of that sub-octave module, like you said, to put in with the 110 module. Work really nicely. Then it becomes an SH101, really, doesn't it?
Yep.
So
I reckon it'd be cool. And you can output the two separately as well. You could have one coming out one channel, one coming out another. This is their website, by the way. It's a what do you call it? One of those channels. Shopify
the filter's got 2 inputs, so
yeah. So 2 CV inputs for the filter, the sub, and there's all the prices there. So he makes
amazing prices.
Makes a couple of really cool mixes.
I don't. Did you notice on the video that there were a couple of oscillators?
There were,
which are not. For saying I don't know if he made them before, and now they're no longer available.
Pretty sure he made them before. They're no longer available, but it'd be nice to have some of his oscillators.
Let's have a look at his discontinued button.
Yeah, it's possibly in there. Okay, so that's those guys. We should move on to the next, and that's this little beastie. This is actually pretty interesting. So this is by 4MS. This is called the Meta module, and I don't think I've got a video for this. No, I don't. But we can bring up the website. No. It's got a preview, a bit of info on it. We can do that. Help you guys a bit. So basically what this is, this is basically a little laptop in eurorack format. So you can run VCV rack inside your eurorack without needing a laptop. So I don't know why, but this probably will excite some people. It might. There's other things that this does that might excite them, maybe indifferently. But anyway, what they're claiming here is it's a utility model that lets you patch together various virtual modules to create a meta module. And it is possible to have several hundred virtual modules in this thing. There is a macro controller for the custom patches, a hardware player for VCV rack patches, a preset manager, and this is probably where it becomes interesting, a DSP development platform where from day one, they will open source it, and then anyone who knows how to develop applications in C++ can write custom apps for this. So,
bit like an organelle, really.
Yeah, a bit like an organelle. But the only thing it doesn't have, which I thought was probably maybe, I don't know, cost reduction issue or whatever. There's no price, by the way. I can't tell you the price, but it doesn't have a touchscreen. And so pretty much all those controls that you see, the A to F there and the little jog wheel up the top right, that's the only way you're going to control these modules, which kind of works with the VCV stuff. But yeah, so haven't really got any more information.
Yeah, but I think if you had a touch screen with it being so small, it might be a bit of a pain.
That would, yeah. But
use a stylus, though, couldn't you? Use a stylus.
It has an ARM Cortex. This is what everyone wants to know. It has a dual-core ARM Cortex A7 running 800 megahertz with an M4 coprocessor. There's 512 meg of fast DD3 RAM, and it runs a bare metal without an operating system, so startup and latency are blazingly fast. If you're into bare metal development, you can see this as an open source platform module type thing. It might just get you into that sort of thing if you're interested. I kind of feel like you'd get, if you're into the sort of DSP development and you're a bit of a newbie, you'd probably want to get something like this, because then it's already sort of they've taken care of all the electronics for you, if that makes sense, and all you have to do is just write the code, chuck it on here, and then you could make your eurorack do bizarre cool things, that if you know how to program. Imagine all the cool things you can do.
It's not a new concept. They had Wave Razor for a long time. That's basically software in a module. So,
yeah,
there's quite a few alternatives too. There's the Befico Lich, which I've got here.
Yep.
Which is it's not nearly as button laden or knob laden, but it is yet another environment that you can program in, and you can program that in Pure Data and Feist and a few other.
Yeah, Ornaments and Crime is one that's probably really popular. That is a development platform. Disting is another one from Oz over in the UK. What do you call them? Expert Sleepers.
Expert Sleepers, yeah.
But this one is probably more knobby and input and outputty. So, and by the way, 4MS, if you ever wanted, they make some really cool stuff. Like There's one module I would love to get my hands on that those guys make, and there's like a VCA matrix switch that they make. I'd love to get. They don't make them at the moment. Probably should double check because I haven't checked for a while. But they make a VCA matrix switch, which is just incredible. $375. Okay, maybe it's back in stock. I'll show you. This thing. It's basically an analog VCA matrix. So you plug in a whole bunch of inputs, and then you can send it to a whole bunch of outputs. And as a result, you can change and mute and mix with a whole bunch of connections. It's really, really clever. And because there's 16 VCAs in this, they're SSM chips. It runs properly in eurorack land. So I'd love to get my hands on one of those. I've got a VCA mixer.
They make cool stuff in general, like circadian rhythm.
Yeah, the rhythm one's good.
Oh, indeed. The spherical wavetable.
The spherical one, yeah, that was. I knew you'd say that.
There's the ensemble oscillator. I keep going back and watching videos about that. I've got to get one of it now. I've got my money on my next oscillator. I know what it's going to be. So it's going to be an XPO, by the way, if you're wondering. But,
okay. They have a basic sampler module as well, which is always interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, don't have a price.
It's a weird concept. My brain sort of goes a bit fuzzy with this because VCV rack emulates the modular world on a screen, and then this module is emulating or recreating VCV rack back in your modular. I mean, it's like, whoa, hang on a minute. But it's a brilliant idea.
It's not quite
brilliant
that.
Idea.
I know what you mean, but it's not quite that. So VCV rack, you would need to have some sort of DC coupled audio interface to work with your VCV.
To work it with eurorack. I mean, this actually does away with all of that.
Yep.
It's just the fact that you're running these VCV rack modules in a module.
Yeah.
And it's
that's
like,
the headbutt. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Does this still connect to VCV rack though? If you want to make updates in the software,
I don't think it's
communicate.
There was
I don't think it does.
USB socket on it.
But there is a USB
That would be
connection.
cool if you could, because
Check out their website anyway. There's a whole bunch of information about it. I don't think they've fully explained everything yet with this, so because it is a TBA, and who knows what the TBA is. I think Synth Anatomy had an article on it. I can't remember. I saw it somewhere. I found this thing in Modular Grid, but then I saw an article somewhere on one of the sites somewhere. Yeah, Synth Anatomy's got a module article on it. And what is he saying? Oh, okay, so they found out about this at Knobcom, which is only just recently finished. So maybe that might be what it is. It's probably like, hey, we're going to do this, guys, but we haven't quite finished it yet. They're saying...
Oh, they're doing a bearinger on us.
Yeah. I don't think they're saying when it's available. They did show it, though. So it is in prototype. I just had a quick look at the article. Anyone that went to Knobcom in chat, let us know if they saw it. We should probably move on to the next, because you guys will like this one. You probably already know about it. Hey!
Yeah.
Hey.
Play the video. Please play.
Where's Tubbs and Crockett when you need them?
All right, let's play the video.
God, the vocals.
vocals and the dance.
Hypnosis. 'Cause my little psychosis. 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 'Cause my little psychosis.
I'm gonna play half of it. All right, because I think it was fun. It was fun. But yeah, this is a reissue of Hypnosis, which is an effects processor that it's mainly analog. You've got an LFO, you've got a chorus/flanger. Obviously, it's done through a BBD chip, so it's a BBD style chorus flanger. It's got a delay and it's got a spring reverb and a master mix at the end. You can make this thing into your Eurorack. You can chuck it in. It'll be massive. How many? I think it's something like 40 something HP. What did I write?
Yeah,
it's
pretty big.
pretty big. Where are we? 42 HP. Now there's a limit of 500 pieces available. It is a DIY kit, and it's only $234. So, for those people who think $234, chuck a couple of soldering, it's probably worth it. I don't know. It takes up a lot of HP though. I probably would use it more as a desktop module if it was something that I was after. Thoughts? Opinions? Want? Not want?
Yeah. Not.
Yeah.
I'm a
It's
bit like
great
that
stuff.
with
I just don't need this.
Not keen. You
it.
know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not their best product, is it?
Yeah.
If you're desperate to have the nice spring reverb and old analog delays and those effects,
Sorry.
why not? Certainly
What?
at this price, it sort of makes sense because it was quite pricey when it first came out. But
As
kind of
a
without it.
yeah, as a DIY kit, it's going to be a lot cheaper. But yeah, like there's going to be someone that wants it, right? There's definitely going to be someone that wants it.
It's a
maybe-
non-solder kit, isn't it? So it's,
Yeah,
you just,
non-solder.
it's just
Yeah,
plug it
so,
all together. Yeah.
Yep.
By the
So
way,
it's not
the
really DIY.
Korg style.
there is something Erebus related to this too. The delay in it is actually the same delay that's in the Erebus. So if you do like the delay sound out of the Erebus, you get the same one, I believe. It is a real spring reverb, not a digital emulation too.
Yeah, you could tell it was a real spring.
Mm.
And if you drop it, I'm sure it'll go clang like
Quang.
springs do.
Yeah.
Or break.
But wouldn't
Or
it have been
break,
cool?
yes.
Don't you reckon instead of that stupid thing up the top, wouldn't it have been cool to have the spring
Yeah.
exposed there, and then you
Actually
could
would,
literally just
yeah.
run the pen over it or something?
Yeah,
guitar
that
pick
would be
over
really
it?
good.
Not sure.
Just buy the Coma Field kit. You get that. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What are the chatties saying? Insta buy, guys. It's not a rack version. It's a Euro rack version, half god, half beast, unfortunately. But having said that, you can buy 19-inch rack Euro rack rail kits, and then you've got a rack version. So, and you can also get them in a rack. No, just kidding. Next is
Politics,
bottom. This one I thought was interesting. Interesting indeed. Do we have a demo? Do we have a demo?
We do.
Look, we'll
I'll
listen
tell
to
you
a
what time
couple
to
of.
go
There's
to.
a whole bunch of stuff on this video. Okay, what this is an SCM state variable filter by G-Storm Electro. I think these guys are based in the US. This is all handmade. This module, by the way, it's not a very good looking photo / render.
That looks like a render,
Yeah.
really, rather than a.
But what it does contain is, if you're wondering where this comes from, it comes from the Oberheim SEM synths. It contains the 3080 OTA filter design that's known for its really smooth resonant feedback filter response. I don't know what this means, but they're saying there's no obsolete NOS at every stage. And that might mean something to engineers. The mod inputs are interesting though.
Old stock.
So you can see down the bottom, there's actually signal inverting, which means that the low pass, high pass, and notch mix sweeps controls are CV modulated, which is pretty cool. So that I think we can get some interesting sounds out of, because filters are really important for sound design, and to be able to sweep through those three different types of filters is cool, because it is a state variable filter, right? Okay. There is a massive video here. Let's annoyingly
I can tell
sort
you a
of-
good time to go to.
Yeah? Go.
2 minutes 50.
2 minutes 50 with the LP HP mix LFO modulated. Okay, let's do it. Got the feedback module in there. That's a beautiful sounding filter. That is nice. It does bring you to the Oberheim sound, doesn't it? Price and all that sort of stuff.
238.
Yeah, price.
238 euros at Schneider's Laden.
Schneider's Laden. $200 US.
$199 USD, yeah.
Apparently.
Directly from Reverb.
I can recommend it based on another module I bought. There's the Syrinx filter bank thingy. Which is
I
really
remember
cool.
that. Yep.
It's called the Gyrinx.
I was going to get their website up. It is a Reverb store, so 300 and something Australian dollars, I think it is, for those playing along in Australia. There you go. Which is about $200 US. There you go. They are in stock, shipping immediately. If you want one, who's into SEM sounding? Yeah,
That's lovely.
Now.
I think it's a pretty extensive filter when you think about it. Like, it's not, just a basic filter. It's a pretty extensive one. If you want a basic filter, go get something else. I like state variable filters. Now, Chatties, have a quick comment about it. Very nice, says Kissing the Machine. I wasn't clear if there was CV over res cutoff, since most of that demo they spent tweaking those. Yeah.
Good question.
Probably not. I do like
be.
CV reso. I'm with Wagoo. I do like it.
I can't. So there must be CV control over the frequency.
Oh, there is. Yeah.
It doesn't look like there is for resonance, though.
I can't see it. You've got two inputs,
keyboard,
and then you've got low, high pass output and band pass output. Let's go back to the graphic while I'm reading it. And then you've got the mod. It's got that little sort of map there that tells you how it works, right? The modulation. You've got keyboard control as well. Yeah, no, there's definitely no resonance CV. That's a shame. All right.
Seems like a lot of filters are like that. I have just a couple that have resonance control. So
yeah, I've got one, I think, that's got resonance control. It's
the
very,
Dreadbox
very cool.
White Line has resonance control.
Very cool to have. Definitely very cool to have. Right, what's next? This was sent in by Wagoo. I think this has been out for a while, actually. This is the Beanie Meanie Moo Moo. It's the dual oscillator. I think this is Japanese, these guys.
This lady is bonkers.
She's bonkers.
I'll tell you now.
This is a bonkers looking module, let me tell you. I had a bit of a look anyway. So
it looks better from a distance, I have to say.
I'm going to show you a video in a sec, and you'll love this video. It's really
you'll see
cool.
it in the video.
Two fully featured through zero analog oscillators, right? One analog noise source with a analog state variable filter. Two input mixers with inverted outputs with extra wave shaping options, plus CV and manual controls for the crossfading between each. And you've got two octave controls with a 5-octave range. That annoyed me a bit, though, the 5-octave range. I hate it when they limit octave range. And CV controls. It usually means that they haven't quite got the power with the oscillator tuning in the circuitry. But anyway, there's a whole bunch of other stuff in there which I can go into, but it's like there's list of stuff. Let's have a look at the video anyway.
Teeny bunny.
Had to show the intro.
Demonstration of a hard and soft sync. Connect the left sine output to the left mixer A input. Connect the left square output to the left mixer B input. Connect the left mixer output to an external VCA. The mix control adjusts the A and B mix. Connect the right square out to the left sync input. The left oscillator is now synced to the right oscillator. The large knobs have just over a 1 octave range for precise control of the frequency. The octave controls can be manually or voltage controlled and have a 5 octave range. The through-zero offset controls act as a coarse.
Let's get into sounds. Sounds cool. There you go. Pretty Bunkers oscillator from Beanie Bunny. The Moo Moo. Well done, Wigoo, for showing that. I kind of felt like DFAM.
Crazy.
I kind of felt like
Yes.
DFAM kind of gets there, right? So if you're thinking, does that sound familiar? DFAM kind of gets there. But probably not everywhere that this thing gets. Because it's those DFAMs and the Behringer Edge clone, they kind of limit you into the oscillator controls, right? So this seems to blow it all out for you to go crazy with. I like it. Prices, I didn't see a price. TBA was what I got on the price. Wigoo, did you ever find a price on this? Let us know in the chat. Yeah, FME sort of plucky, percussive sounds. Anyone want the beanie? Beanie Bunny, sorry.
It sounds fab. I'm going to check that out more. You said there's no
Pretty cool.
price.
It's big, but it's cool.
Yeah, he didn't see a price yet either. Okay, that's disappointing. I think it's been out for a couple of months or a month or so. And I haven't seen any where you can order it from. Anyway, as I always say, every week, these products that you've seen in the news section are in the blog article that you'll see in the next day or so on the Ranzee.com website. If you don't believe me, head on over there and check it out, because there it all is there. Ranzee.com. Last week's show is already up. You can click on it. You can go through everything that we showed last week, including the guests, links to their profiles, funny side, modules, pictures, videos, links to the website, prices, everything's there. So do check that out if you are bored during the week and you think, I need to check that out. All right.
Boredom? What's that? Boredom?
What was your favourite product this week in the news section? Ooh, that's going to be a tricky one.
Got up on
The SEM filter is good.
SEM filter? Andy's going with the SEM filter?
Yeah, the SEM filter.
SEM filter.
I'm really intrigued by that 4MS VCV rack thing. Really intrigued by that.
I think it's going to be big. Depends on how they do it. There's a few questions Wagoo asked as well. It's like, how do you... I don't know if you've ever played with VCV, but if you patch a module inside VCV, you've got to be able to use a mouse, or you've got to be able to use a touchscreen to be able to do it. So if there's no touchscreen on that module, how are we going to connect modules together, and that was a pretty good
It's
point
not-
that he
and
made.
it's
That's
not
why I use the
buttons
iOS
either.
version.
Maybe that. I mean, we can get that graphic back up wherever it's gone, but maybe the where is it? Go back. Maybe the USB up the top is for a mouse. I don't know. Maybe
Could be.
plug a
Or
mouse
an
in.
iOS,
I mean,
Android iOS app.
I'm sorry, people, but if you have a mouse near your Eurorack, then you really, I don't want mice and computer screens next to my Eurorack. That's the whole reason why I got into
It's
freaking
hard to track a
Eurorack.
mouse on that tiny
then-
screen. So.
If you do that, then you got a Fairlight, don't you?
No.
That was for Robbie, and I meant that in the
Yeah.
most nicest way possible.
I got this mouse the other day.
You
That was the
liar.
best.
I think I showed you guys this, didn't I? I got this mouse. I've got those of you who are like into retro computing. I got this thing. It's the tank mouse for the Commodore Amiga,
wow.
but this one is completely wireless and optical. Obviously, it didn't exist back in the day.
No, it's an echo of the past.
Yeah. And
Although a mouse on the Roland S series
work.
samplers made sense. If you had the monitor, that was cool.
Still got those.
But you had to buy
Yeah,
those
that's
stupid
actually
They're not
good
here.
point.
My mate Dave's got them.
That's a good point from Henrik in the chat. Before it disappears off the screen, Polly already did it with mutable
Yeah.
modules in the Hector. He did. That's right. It was kind of weird though. I don't know. How many people got the Hector? I never got the Hector, so I wanted Lockie to send me one, but he never did. So sorry, Lockie, but slap for you. I never got a chance to check it out. So I'm, if you want me to check these things out, I know a fair bit about stuff, so I can.
difference there though is only one module on that screen. This is like multiple modules dumped on that screen at once, which is kind of a lot.
Yeah, I kind of feel it's
So-
going to be. Yeah, it's going to be a thing that we need to see more of before we can comment, right? So
Yeah, bit
I think
skeptical.
out of that stuff, I think the G-Storm Electro SEM state variable filter is probably the most complete and available product out of that stuff. The feedback module stuff was interesting as well. I'm not sure why he's decided to do ARC 2600 stuff. I have a feeling some of the modules that he makes are purely for his own musical needs, because he's a musician, this guy, right? So he makes some pretty cool
Who
music.
would do stuff like that, Rance? Who would do stuff like
I love this self-indulgence. It's brilliant. Me, Chris. Let's name everyone in this.
I
Literally
don't think
all
you'll
of
be
us.
seeing me designing a module anytime soon. I haven't got one clue about one end of a soldering iron from the other. I know people tell me that if you grab it by the wrong end, it'll probably hurt.
It's hot. It's hot, yeah. Burn.
It'll only hurt once.
Burn,
though.
Andy. Yeah, yeah.
Only if it's plugged in.
Wigu might have a new
Oh, that's
affair
true.
going on here. He's into this Beanie Bunny lady. No, that's awesome.
I liked
she's
her
into
voice.
like analog modular designs during
Yeah, she's
lockdown. Good on her. That's
I
awesome.
I loved her voice. I thought she had a great voice.
She did.
It's like being sold a module by Pikachu.
Yes, yes, it is. Yeah.
I've got some
You got a
Japanese
new
friends.
module.
That's kind of how they talk. That's like a lot of women talk like that. And it's once you get used to it, it's fine. I like it. Anyway, what should we do next? Should we do Price Watch? We'll get Price Watch out of the way. Oh, geez. How much should we do a Price Watch? Should we do 4 and then call it quits and then we'll snap it off and do the rest, Andy? Because I think there's too many there.
Yeah, I sent a bunch. Sorry. So
Yeah.
just
All right,
pick what you
let's
think
do
is
Price
best.
Watch. Nothing like snapping it off, eh?
Them knobs.
Don't snap the knobs off, though. Right, here we go. No scammers this week. I don't think. Darren sent in this massively
I know.
high resolution photo. If you're wondering what it says,
It was a quick one. I can't
It is
get
a
back.
mem.
It was just.
it's an MB33.
I think I need to book myself into an optician pretty quick.
I can't. Yeah.
If you can't read it,
Yeah,
it comes with a power supply.
Let's have a look. Let's see if it'll. Oh yeah, that's
Especially
perfect.
without my
No,
glasses.
it's not out of focus. No, Ranzee, see, when I took it, I must have had these on because that's now perfect. Isn't it?
Hang on, quick. That's what he's talking about, people. There he is.
Hey, there he is, the real Darren.
Yeah. So it actually looks fine. So I don't know what all you people looking out there. You've all got bad eyes. I'm telling you.
I've got glasses on, you bugger. Leave me alone. £750 for a MB33 is probably a bit rich, to be fair.
You get a plug with it, though.
You do get a plug. Yeah. Anyway, these have been sent in by Andy Synthetic, who's sitting right there. Analog Solutions Maximus. You feel like you need
now that's
echo.
well out of focus.
AS300. This is
Can't even see the knobs properly.
US dollars, by the way. Andy, tell me why you're interested in this.
I just thought it was funny because I hadn't seen one up on Reverb yet. So
I mean, other than Tom Carpenter.
Yeah, I didn't know they're already up on Reverb because they're pretty new. So
yeah,
maybe they're agents.
UK, isn't it?
Maybe are they agents selling it on Analog Solutions' behalf?
Well, I didn't even know that they were available yet.
I was
right?
shocked to see it.
Yeah, I don't even think they were available. Analog Solutions Maximus AS300. Let's see if it turns up.
We get to see one next month, don't we? At Synthfest.
We do.
Looking forward to
Can't
that.
wait.
It's live,
What a
people.
thing.
Jeez, I don't think they've got the exchange rate quite right. Anyway, let's have a closer look. Oh, that's not even... What are you doing to me? It's the same size. This is definitely definitely a scammy one, I think.
This is suspicious as hell.
This is very suspicious. Anyway, let's go to the next one.
Yeah, who the hell are Turn Lab?
Chamberlain M1 synth electronic keyboard sampler tape. Stop saying vintage rare. Like, stop saying it. We know. Slap. Anyway,
It's rare vintage. Yeah.
Well, it also says synth. It's not a synth either, right?
no, it's not a synth at all. This is crap. I don't know. They were interesting, but not $16,000 interesting. Hey.
Yeah,
Needs
the
wheels.
Chamberlain is pre-Mellotron, isn't it? So it's the
It is.
the very original stuff that was
OG.
manufactured in the United States.
It's the original Mellotron, yeah.
I wouldn't be getting it.
Before the other company pulled the Behringer, right?
Yeah, when Frenson brought over the original one on to the UK, that was right, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Didn't he rip?
Yeah.
Yeah, he ripped off
Yeah,
Chamberlain
he
and
did a
brought it
bit.
over and then rebadged it, and yeah,
Something
They
like that.
came to an agreement.
yeah, they did.
Yeah,
Not with Frenson though. But
it wasn't a gunpoint
original
either.
one.
CS70M. I
Lovely.
kind of see a lot of these. Every time I see one, this one doesn't actually say it's rare, but I kind of see a lot of these and they say it's rare. But I think there's been a lot of these sold when they first sold them. Probably more than they sold the CS80, right? But I see a lot of them. I don't know why.
Yeah.
You can get some pretty decent sounds out of this. You can't get you can't get the, what would you call it, guys? The expression out of the CS80. That CS80's got.
No, it doesn't have poly aftertouch.
Doesn't have poly and it doesn't have the ribbon strip, right? But you can get the same sort of sounds without the expression. Similar, anyway. Not exact.
It's a different machine, really.
Yeah. But
if you're going to do a couple more, do the 909 because the price is pretty crazy, and do that one called Stormy. Have you seen that Stormy one?
Yeah, I had a quick look at all of them. I need to bring them up this way, though. Okay, we'll skip those.
I was shocked at the 909 price since it was just 909 day. Holy moly.
Yeah. Sorry, it's...
My friend sold his back in 2008, an 808 and a 909 for about $2,200.
Let's show this one first.
There you go. Stormy panel.
What the hell is this?
You want to get some class to your eurorack, right? So.
Wow.
Yeah, price.
Yeah, what does it do?
I read through it. I think it's just a blanking panel.
It literally says,
But it's
"Do you
a
want your
custom blanking
modular to
panel.
sound bigly or not?"
Exactly.
Bigly.
Making fun of Trump.
Yeah, I think this is really just 808.
Too many
We'll leave the
partners.
808. Okay, we'll do the 909. Is this the 909? This one?
What's a Stormy Daniels?
Yeah, look at that price. Stormy Daniels had an affair with Trump. There was a whole big scandal about it.
Correct.
She was a porn star.
right.
Wasn't she?
She's-
He was
Sorry,
married.
yeah,
She's a porn
right.
star. She got paid off.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, that's right.
Right, sorry.
She threatened to say stuff to the world about what
Yeah,
she
She
knew.
did actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she got paid off, and then she ended up saying it anyway.
She got paid off.
Yeah, she nailed them pretty good.
Then everyone
Got
starts
a knob
saying,
missing.
It's got a broken knob, I think.
Mm.
Rather
It is.
than just
It is a
missing
bit.
knob.
It is a bit nasty. All right, we'll stop it there. So we had 909
That's high,
Stormy
though, for
Daniels.
909.
I'm kind of liking Stormy Daniels. CS70M.
Stormy panel.
Oh, what have I started? It's like a running headlong into these stupid questions. And then,
Darren's blurry
right.
photo. I'm going to go with Darren's blurry photo.
you're all
It
blurry
wasn't
there.
blurry. It's all your
That's for the
eyes.
scene, yes.
Your eyes are all bad.
Darren's taken it on his high resolution computer that comes from the 90s.
He needs
Oh,
that
it's
correction
your
to the
eyes, I'm
Hubble
telling you.
telescope.
That is perfect.
How many bags
Like
of
the
squashes
gin
have you got through, Darren, just out of interest?
I've not had any for ages. I'm just eating some.
I remember
Yeah.
guys. Do you remember the
Right.
first time? Some of you guys won't know this because it's been around for a while. But the first time I did the send in your photos of your studio show, I think we called it Subscriber Studios or something. And I got everyone to send in photos of their studio, and people were sending me like these really low resolution photos of their studio that looked like Darren's submission
Postage
this week.
stamps.
Yeah, yeah. And we were trying to show them on the show.
Hey,
just like,
hey, is this how I got my pictures?
it is.
Yes,
It
I
was,
think it is.
it was a high res PNG that I could see quite clearly with my glasses on.
On a
Even though
1990s
they are
computer.
magnified by 10
Because
times.
you're too stingy to upgrade your computer.
High res by what standard? Yeah, was that
Yeah.
300 by 200?
That's 8K.
Universal Vibes got it there. Darren's rocking the 640 res like it's 1992.
Yeah.
It's almost like CGI graphics.
Hey,
How
there's
long
a
do you have to wait for it
640
to?
res.
There
Did
you
you have
go.
to wait for
Yes.
it to come down line by line? You know,
640 res.
Yeah, it was that. You made that.
512K board mode.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
That's how he's printing his set list out on his dot matrix.
Progressive JPEG, yeah.
That makes you remember them, yeah.
All right,
Through
let's
reverb.
get this MX-1 stuff set up, hey?
Cool.
So MX-1 over here. Okay, so the first thing, so if you're wondering, we're going to be doing MX-1 into the Akai Force first, right?
Ooh.
First thing you need to do is you need to set your MX-1 into, if you don't know, MX-1 has 3 sample rates that it sends out its audio interface, 44.1, 48, and 96. So you have to pop this one down to 44.1, unfortunately. This only works at 44.1. Which is probably a limitation, to be fair, because 44.1 is not the best sample rate in the world. It's CD quality. You might be fine with it. It sounds okay. Anyway, so that's the first thing you do. To do that, you can check the user manual. It's really easy. It's spelled out in there. You hold down gain, I think it is, and turn the power on, and then
And switch on the machine.
you press the BFX button and turn the value knob until it says 44.1, and then press the stop button, and then you've done it. It's that easy. Anyway, so we'll do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up, I've got an old Android phone here, and I am going to...
All right, I know my picture was low res, but
That's all right, mate. Don't get jealous. This has got more res than you'd ever have. Right, okay. Let's get this going. And I just want to get this going to preferences, audio device, so you guys can see. Okay, here we go. Where are we? Oh, have I lost my... Because we restarted, I have now lost
restarted
my
and everything
SRT.
stopped.
There it is. Is it going to work? Yay! Okay. And zoom. And zoom. I'm going to have to turn the audio off. There we go. So you can see this is my Force. See? There it is. Sorry about the jerky video, but I don't have a camera over this part of the room. But you can see there, Roland MX-1, right? Now, on the Force, I had to enable that 32 input check there to get this to work properly. So on the MPC, I didn't have to do that. So basically now, when you go into mixer, sorry, mic, I'm banging the mic, you can then go into, sorry, it's not very focusy, is it? I/O. And I've got my, sorry, you guys can't hear me properly. I've got my MX-1 set to 7/8, the channel there, okay? I won't make you dizzy anymore. Well, so you guys have seen that. And now we're going to go to all of us. I'll get to Ableton up. Because the Force uses Ableton Link, we can use Ableton to start and stop this. So let's get some drums happening on this. Now, we'll go to the MX-1. Command, is it Option Command Plus? Yeah. Okay, we'll mute all the other. So, on Ableton, I've got MX-1 here. And if I press play, it's going to be really low volume, but you guys can see that, okay? I can turn it up a bit. Probably can turn it up more on the MX-1. Alright, so as I start adding things in here, you'll start hearing. This is all just coming out on the Force through the MX-1. So let's cross over to the MX-1 and we should see. Now press stop. Start. Let's turn it up a bit actually. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. It's probably still not good enough, but the delay is Ableton Link, by the way, not the connection. So there you go. Now on the Force itself, I'll just go to us. Just stop that. On the Force itself, it literally every single one of those channels that I was showing you before. I'll just do it. I'll show you again with the jerky video, but you can actually send them to different outputs on the MPC Live. Sorry, onto the MX-1. Sorry. So I showed you that before, didn't I? Here we go. Come on, come on, come on! Jump, 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 jump. So see how you've got
Can't see
I/O
it,
here.
Rance.
No, we're still seeing you, all of us.
Okay. See how you
There
guys
we go.
Got it.
can
Okay.
see.
See how
I/O?
you guys can see I/O?
Sorry, I'm gonna have to turn this audio off. There we go. All right. So you can change the I/O channel here, and this is the I/O channel of the MX-1. So you can change it to any of these inputs here: 1 and 2, 3, 4, 7 and 8. I've done to 32, but it goes to, I think it goes to 7/8 on the MX-1. We'll just leave it as that. And that means then that, I'll just stop that. It's taking up a lot of bandwidth. Cool. That means that you can then multi-track your Force onto different tracks on using your MX-1. So if you bring your MX-1 into your DAW, you can then, because I haven't got my MX-1 connected via USB, but you can then see all the different channels coming into your DAW, and you can multi-track all the different tracks on your Force, which is what you can do with any class-compliant multi-channeled mixer, like the Tascam one that they show a lot of with the, you'll notice with the Akai MPC videos and stuff when they started bringing that firmware
Model
update.
12.
Yeah, the 12. So that's a multi-trackable mixer. So you can do
I've
that.
got the 24.
Yeah. Obviously, it's only at 44.1. That's the drawback, right? Okay, so who wants to now see the MPC Live do it?
Yeah.
So I will unplug. Actually, I'll show you something. When you unplug, this is pretty clever from Akai, I thought, because some developers, they would do stuff, and you'd think if you unplug a USB connection on an audio interface, it's just going to crash, right? Let's go across. Oh. Let's go across. Oh. Okay. Now, if I unplug the USB connection, this is the MX-1. Watch the screen. First, falling back to internal device, and literally just click close. And when you reconnect it, you have to go back into the preferences and settings and find it and everything. But that's handy, so it doesn't actually crash if you're unplugging while it's still turned on, which I thought was pretty cool. Otherwise, you'd be like having to shut it down and all that sort of stuff. And it does still work. So if
it's not Windows.
Because it's not Windows. But if I go to
Bonk. Yeah.
If I go to the Mac again, all right, and we want to have the Force connection. This is a physical connection here now on the Force, right? If I turn off the MX-1 for now, and I turn that on, and I press play, there you go. Now that's probably not going to make any noise because I need to then change the outputs to that was loud. So that's now using the physical outputs that I've got connected into my audio interface. So that's the Force done, people. We'll go over to, this is the MX-1. This is literally like a massive big long USB cable connected. You can probably, if we go to MX-1, you can probably see it. You can see the cable just hanging down. There, you can see me, I'm pulling on it, see? Right, there you go. All right, now let's go to the MPC. With the MPC, we're going to do the same thing, aren't we? We're going to, we'll try and plug it in and film it with the jerky camera. Sorry guys about the jerky camera, but it's the easiest way for me to do it because I don't have to keep bringing cameras around, I guess. Oh yeah, shut up. Who's that idiot talking? Alright, so I'm going to plug it into the back here somewhere. And what's the bet? I've got this stupid USB cable around the wrong way. I'm going to turn it around, and then I'll plug it in, and it will be around the right way the first time.
And it'll crash.
Here we go. Okay, so it's plugged in. You go into Menu, Preferences, Audio Device, and then you can click on, and there it is there, MX-1, bang. She's now using the MX-1. Now, with this one, I didn't have to do the 32 inputs. All I had to do was just make sure my program says 7, 8 there, and it should work. So we need to go back. Sorry about this jerky video, guys. We'll go back to there. We'll disconnect the Force and we'll connect the MX-1 again, and we'll press play on this.
waveforms, howling wind.
There we go. There's the Akai Force and MPC working with the Roland MX-1. Thanks to Stephen for letting us know about that. Good tip, mate. What do you guys think of that?
Pretty cool.
Yeah, well, it's discontinued, unfortunately, the MX-1, isn't it?
You can still get them, though. They've sold
Still a bunch out there.
thousands of them. So there's heaps of them out there. And a little birdie told me that if you asked your Roland rep, they've still got some in the warehouse. And they'll still sell you one. So
It's,
they have discontinued them. I think they're probably going to bring out an MX2 or an MX something. I think they're probably already. There's probably people with NDAs right now who are probably playing with them as we speak. I wouldn't know. I haven't got a clue. But for people that do have an MX1, like me and Darren and plenty of other people, I reckon that's pretty cool. And don't forget too that the MX1 is also a MIDI controller. So you could then put your MPC or your Force into MIDI Learn, and you could like play with the sliders and some of the other things, and have that then interact with internal features on your MPC, which I think is a pretty cool thing. So it's not just the audio interface that you're benefiting from here. Okay, cool. All right, make sure that's turned off. Yeah, so obviously, if you had an audio interface that's class compliant, USB, this whole thing that I've just shown you is completely not really any use to you at all. You would just use that. But there are plenty out there that aren't. And like, for example, the RME gear doesn't seem to be class compliant in some respects. Some of it is. But if there's a website which lists, I think it's the MPC forum or MPC something forum, Wugu might know what it is. Or if Mac's still there, he might be able to tell us. It lists a whole bunch of, like, it's literally like hundreds of things that they've tried and tested out to see if it works with MPCs or Force in that digital audio interface connection. And that's probably how someone discovered the MX1 working with it, which really blew me away, because we all know that it's proprietary Roland, what do you call it, drivers on this thing. And that might explain why you have to use it in 44.1 mode. That might be the test there. So, but I thought it sounded pretty good. I don't know if I'll be mucking around with it myself, because I've got enough connectivity here. It's not really something I need, but it's good to know. Like, if I ever wanted to do a little sort of live thing and I needed a mixer that's got a fairly decent amount of connectivity on it, might be good enough. I mean, live, do we need...
How much did you use the MX1
K?
after you bought it?
I use it MX1 every day.
You do?
I've had it... How long have I had it for, Darren? Probably nearly 8 years, maybe 9 years.
From when the show started, I had mine. Well, that's how I found you originally, because I was looking for MX1 stuff. So I've had it about a similar time, and I used to use mine all the time. It was literally the setup. The mixer was just in front of me here until I got the big mixer. That was the main mixer, and I still like the little jamming sessions you can do with it anyway.
Yeah, it's a really good mixer. I might read that. The thing I like about it is, yeah, that sounds really good actually. I'm not too unhappy with that.
Acoustic waveforms, virtually any sound you hear, can be generated and modified by purely electronic means. Given the right equipment, any sound can be produced electronically, from the sound of a clarinet to the howling wind. Howling wind. Waveforms.
That's MPC.
See, I was going to just say that sounds a bit noisy to me. And then you went and did that, and it was a sample.
Oh, you got to get in quick. You got to get in quicker, mate.
Well, I was about to say it, then you went.
Then I went.
Any sound could be created. Oh. Sounds a bit noisy, Rans.
And that's the thing too. Once you've got the digital audio interface happening on these products, you can then process any audio coming in, use the internal effects of the MPC or the Force, and there's heaps, right? There's stacks of plugins and internal effects on these things, and then you can output them and record it. It's as a sample. I mean, in the Force, you can, obviously, both of them, you can record them as samples and clips and things like that. But you can also chuck it into your DAW and record it that too. So that's always good. I just kind of thought that there's probably going to be some other interesting things with it, like so with the MX-1, one of the things you'll notice that it's got its master effects, right? On the right hand side, you've got master effects, delay, filter, scatter, flanger, all these things, right? That doesn't come through, I don't believe, the digital audio interface. So that would come through the USB out, the main sort of USB-B connector that you would get that through from the MX-1, which is like the PC, the main mix connection. So the way that you can with the MX-1, it has a couple of different modes as well. You can actually set it into different mixer modes, but for this to work, you need it in the external mode. So that's the other thing I probably forgot to mention. And I don't actually use the MX-1 in those other modes. Darren, do you use it in the other modes, or do you just use it as an external mode?
No, I just use it as an extra. I think originally I was going to use it as, I can't remember what the other modes were now, but it just ended up being external mode all the time.
Yeah, there's a live mode,
because it was for Ableton,
mix mode, external mode. They're the three different modes, I think. Live mode is for Ableton users.
As standard. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Anyway, that's probably it for that. I think we've done that to death. Were there any questions? Sorry, I didn't actually catch any questions. If you did ask any questions, can you ask them again? By the way, the firmware on the MX-1 is like 2016. So we're not talking about there's some special new firmware on here or anything like that. It's just the latest firmware that it came out with, which it's about 2016.
And I think it's all about the, like I say, putting it out to 44.1, because it's like on the digital out of the MX-1, isn't it? You've got to match it to I think it's only 44.1 out of there as well. It's got to be matched to the digital in on your, if you was putting it into another mixer or something like that. I had to do that on my, what was it? My Yamaha 01V. The digital out on that and the digital out on that, they had to be matched. So it had to be like, I can't remember if it's 41 or 48 or whatever it was. But yeah.
So you can see with mine, across the top where you've got those physical connections, there's kind of like a silvery looking one that's sort of in the middle. That's a digital, like a coaxial connection to the digital channel. You can see the digital channel underneath that big, the middle knob. It says digital underneath. That digital channel, I use a digital to analog converter, and I have to have the mixer in 48K for it to work, because that converter is only 48K. Yeah. Oh no, is it coaxial, isn't it? It's coaxial.
Yeah, coaxial.
Yeah.
So which USB? So you're coming out the main USB-B.
I'm not using
Force or MPC one.
No, I'm coming out of the USB, the main output, the USB-B Type B. Yep.
Yeah. Not one of the area ones
inputs, no.
that are slightly pop.
Yeah. So you can see, there it is there.
Yeah.
That's where I'm coming out. That one there. The other cool thing about, if you've never had an MX-1 and you've got a lot of Roland gear, all those USB inputs, there's 4 USB inputs in the back. They work with all the boutiques, all the era gear, whatever you want to call it. Things like JDXI, JDXA, the MC series, MC101, MC707, all the new stuff that's come out, the S1, the T8, J6, I think, whatever they're called. All of those work with it.
pretty much all the USBs,
Yeah.
isn't it?
So they will all work through that USB connection, and that's like 4, 4 more stereo inputs that come into that mixer, which you can control through the USB 1 to USB 4 channels on there, which you guys can see there.
And one of them, I don't know why, but one of them is powered.
Yeah,
So
one of them's bus
you can power
powered.
something like
Yeah.
this. Yeah, why they didn't bus power a lot, but
Just be careful with this shit though, because USB power, it just introduces a whole bunch of like frustrating noise issues, ground loop noises and stuff. Just you gotta be really careful with this stuff. But one of the things you can do, for example, is some of the IRA products have audio inputs in them as well. So you can actually use them as analog audio inputs and the actual synth as well. So you can kind of double up. Like the TR8 is a good example. The TR8S has audio inputs on it. And you can just use up one of those USB ports and you kind of have like a sub-mix going on with it. I'm just trying to find that module that I had. Yeah. These modules here. Where's my... Just get it out of the the bubble wrap. These modules here, these are IRA modules as well. That Roland, that have discontinued them though. But if you actually look, they've got a USB connection on them. So you can actually plug these in via USB into your MX-1 mixer. And there's an app you can get. Like, Andy, you're pretty up on the iPad app. You can turn these things into anything basically through the app.
Yeah.
But this has got a stereo input and a stereo output on it. So you could actually bring in your eurorack into your MX-1 through these via USB. So I don't know why Roland discontinued that. I just don't know why. There was like 4 or 5 of these modules.
Product.
They were so good. And they actually literally just plug into your
We'll
eurorack.
start again, as they say.
USB, unfortunately, USB micro on the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
For those that want to throw
That
this
was the time it came out. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, still, it's 96K audio processing. I mean, this one's the scatter one, right? So it doesn't do as good a scatter as I think the scatter.
They had to have that because the System 1M didn't have the scatter.
Yeah. So they brought that out, but I don't think it's as good as the scatter that's on the TR8. The TR8 scatter's better.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just the way that it works. I don't know. Who knows? But if you've got one of those modules, don't sell them. They're actually worth a bit now. Because they didn't sell very many of them. That might be why Roland discontinued. They just didn't sell many.
I don't see
they
many
will
more.
become rare.
They are rare. If you look at on Reverb now, they sell for a
that
pretty decent price, almost like brand new price. Torcedo was one, wasn't it? Roland Torcedo.
Yeah.
That was like the.
Yeah.
That
Four
was
of
like
them,
the.
What was the delay one? There's
Here
a
we
bit
go.
crusher. There's delays, a
Bit crusher, scatter delay.
So like $500 Australian for a used Torcedo.
Yeah, they were
$700 if you in some cases. Like to get these used, they're like brand new price. I only paid something
they're
like
pretty much,
$450 for mine brand new, and they're more than what they were brand new now. And look at the stupid shipping on this. Like, what? $200 shipping for? Are you serious? Right? Come on. $200 shipping for that.
But they're throwing
Are
a
you
free
kidding
Stormy
me?
panel with it, so they.
Stop it, Reverb people.
I think stupid shipping prices are just people trying to say they don't ship to your region.
No, it's a Reverb thing. Reverb will list your module as the cheapest one if people sort it by lowest to highest, but if they don't say lowest, including shipping.
Right. So they're just offsetting one with the other. Plain
Well,
silly
they're
buggers.
just making money on the shipping. And I think also
Gaming the system.
I also think the Reverb fees originally didn't include the shipping, but now Reverb have caught on to that. That's what people were doing. They were selling modules for like $5 and $300 shipping, and Reverb have caught on that they were doing that. So now it includes, if you try, it'll include the shipping. Yeah.
Can I ask you,
That's
Ranzee, how
weird.
you power those modules in eurorack? Those
Yes.
Roland,
So it's got a standard DC barrel connector. I'll show you. It's got a standard DC barrel connector here, right?
yeah.
And
When you put it into eurorack.
It comes with an adapter that puts it into eurorack.
Right. I'm
So
with
these
you.
are these are like, if you lose that, you're kind of
Rarer
screwed.
than hen's teeth.
Yeah, you could make one though. You could make
That's
one.
probably
don't
rarer
ask me
than the
to. Please
module.
don't ask me to.
Well, it's just a DC, right? So it's only going to be
Yeah,
connected to the main pins of that.
Plus 12 and 0 probably.
Yep.
It's just a barrel connector. Yeah.
Just a barrel connector.
Yeah.
So you could probably make one. But yeah, they're pretty decent, those modules. But like I said, if you can find one cheap, get it. If you haven't got one, and you don't need to get it specifically for the thing that it's built for, like the Torpedo. Maybe you don't want to have distortion, so you just go into the app, change it all. I think you can change it to a scatter. I'm pretty sure. Can you do that, Andy? I can't remember.
I thought it was
change it.
because the controls are different though. So if you look at the knobs in the different models, I thought they were slightly different. So they're not going to get the same. You couldn't just change the software, make it the same.
They look the same to me.
I could be wrong. Are they the same?
Let's have a look.
I don't remember that whole hack part of it.
Oh yeah, there are different controls. You're right. There's level. Yeah,
the buttons
you're
are
right,
different.
there
The knobs are a little bit
Yep.
different, so it's not one to
Okay.
one.
It was
So
kind
it's
of
not
cool if I recall, because you could kind of build your own sort of mini modular in it, but it didn't go terribly far because it wasn't a hugely successful product. But yeah, I remember looking at it when it came out and being quite intrigued.
Torpedo, Bit Razor, Scooper, which is the one I've got.
Demora, which was the delay.
Demora is the delay. So there you go. That I think there's 5, isn't there? The cheapest one I found is $365 for the Bit Razor in Canada. There you go. So there's a couple of cheap ones if you look around. There's a Bit Razor for 300. These are Australian dollars, I should say. Let's have a look. So there's the 243 shipping. Come on, stop it. Really, come on. Just stop doing it. Let's have a look at this other one. This is better. This one. So the Bit Razor's not bad. You could get a Bit Razor, which is a bit crusher type effect.
Crusher.
Yeah. All of them have, I'm pretty sure all of them have a filter in them. And the filter is based on, so I believe it's an ACB filter, if I remember rightly. You guys will have to look up the documentation, but I'm pretty sure they've got the ACB Roland System 100 type filter in there. So it's kind of nice. And it definitely doesn't have any sort of digital, stepping or artifacts in it. It's quite high res, I believe. So, yeah, and we're kind of getting off on a tangent talking about these things, but but it's definitely related because I think if you're going to be using the MX-1 with your MPC, one of the things that you're going to want to do is probably, if you're into Eurorack, you're probably going to want to bring your Eurorack into your MPC somehow, and that could be an easy way through your MX-1 through one of these modules with the audio input. So, that's kind of where we were heading with that. They're still listed on Roland's website, so there's a whole you can still download the manuals, and I think there's an app you can download as well. It's taking forever to load. I don't know why. Hope the stream's still working.
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if the app were discontinued.
It's the whole product name's discontinued, but you can download stuff.
I know with the apps, they disappear, long before the product does sometimes.
Yeah.
Because of OS changes and stuff. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, it won't be
modular.
updated from
No,
the
there it
latest
is.
OS, will
It's
it?
there. There it is. It's probably not.
There?
It is there. Aero modular customizer for Mac. Let's see if we can still get it. Okay, this is interesting. So, I can zoom in on this a little bit for you guys. So, these are kind of all the sub-modules you can do with it, with the customizer. You can add short delay, tube clip, compressor, noise gate, 3-band EQ, logic operation, crossfader, switcher, envelope, trigger to LFO, 2 types of filters, a formant filter, an oscillator with 2 different types, and a MIDI note to CV gate. There you go. So you got a MIDI to CV gate. So yeah, interesting. So there's some cool things, cool tinkery things in there. It's saying Mac is 10.15. What am I on? 10 point... I'm on 13.4. So this is kind of really old. This is Intel based, right? So you'll probably have to run this with the Rosetta. Do you guys know how to do that? If you download a Mac thing that's kind of Intel based, but you know, before they had the M1 stuff out, you can launch it, launch it in Rosetta emulation mode. So I think you right click, or you right click and click option, and it gives you a pop up. Yeah. And you can check a little box that says run in Rosetta mode.
Yeah, I've done it for a while, but yeah, and it runs pretty smooth.
Runs really good.
I've tried in Rosetta.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see if this is downloaded. I have not used this app. I probably actually had it installed on my previous Mac before I upgraded to the MX-1. Sorry, we're talking about MX-1s. To the M1.
M1.
Okay, here we go. It's a packager. What's the bet? It's not going to work. Allow it. Allow it. Install. Yay! It's installing. Allow. Come on, stop asking me questions. Okay, it's installed. Yes. Alright, applications. Era modular. Is it under Roland? It's probably under Roland, right? Era modular customizer. There we go. Right. There we go. So you probably have to plug it in. That might help. But these are the 4. And there you go. So what do? We can add... Oh, there you go. You click on it. You literally have all these cool things here. So where's the oscillator? Let's add a sawtooth oscillator. And then you can virtually patch them into all this stuff here. So I could sort of go, right, I want to have the out of that going to the out there. The in, you know, you might want to have this CV control here. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if that works. CV in. There. There. Why not there? Oh, down here. Okay, there. So that, yeah. So it's virtually patching stuff, and once you've done that, you save it and you upload it to your actual hardware unit. These things, you connect these via USB. So you upload it to that, and it's got that particular little bit of soft module sitting in there permanently. How cool is that?
Kind of reminds me of you ever see those Digitech stomp boxes you could reprogram with software?
Yeah.
You could add whatever stomp boxes you want to. It's kind of like that with more of a modular slant.
It's a little bit like VCV Rack in a way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is well, it's been on my radar for many years.
I just hope they don't discontinue it because I mean that's really cool, and you know, and there you go. You've got eurorack module. Connect it to your MX-1. Now you can connect it to the MPC or the Force. This is really cool. It's kind of like bringing love back to Roland. Yeah.
Yeah, it can change the stuff on it, so you don't have to set one unit. You can change it to pretty much what you want.
Yeah. I was just thinking to myself the other day.
See, they're going somewhere now. Look.
I don't have a lot of oscillators that aren't Behringer. as such, right? I've got my Roland System 500 oscillators, and technically there's some other oscillators if you want to get technical with some of the other products like the mutable instruments and stuff, rings and things like that, right? But technically, most of the oscillators I've got in my eurorack are Behringer. The System 100 clone Behringer, ARP 2500 clone is Behringer, the ARP 2600 module is a Behringer. So yeah, the only one I think
what you need to do, Rans,
is Roland.
You need to get one of your is try one of those oscillators out on your. Which one have you got? The Torpedo Decimator
Why don't you,
Decimator?
Scooper, yeah.
Scooper.
Why don't you try a Dreadbox oscillator? The one Brooksy's got's quite nice.
Well, I could plug this in now. I have to turn this off. It should have enough power in this nifty case. I could plug this in now, and then we can connect the USB. I don't. This is the thing. I don't know if you can. If you guys, do you guys know if you can connect?
Not in the case right now.
Yeah. If you power this into the case, can you still connect it up via USB? Like if I have it just sitting out of the case, right? That's what I'm thinking. Just have it sort of flapping around in the breeze.
Probably can. Yeah.
Power's power. Let's see.
Have it flapping around in the breeze.
Yeah, why not?
God, what on earth do you get up to, Rance?
Leave it on there.
Cool.
Don't look in here, then.
Sorry.
What's wrong with having things flapping around in the breeze?
Flapping
Brooksy?
around all over the place.
It's the naturist
Don't give him one
lifestyle.
of those blank panels.
Yeah.
All right, can we zoom out a bit? There you go. Look, it's flapping around in the breeze. Okay? So it's powered by eurorack there. And there she is right there. So we could connect this up. Sorry. I'd see it on my preview screen. Powered by eurorack there. There it is. See? Look, it's flapping around in the breeze.
Yes.
Not plugged in. What a rebel. Not screwed down. I mean.
No, don't have a big enough case. But I do need to get a USB-C... USB micro?
Oh, God, what is it? Micro? Ugh.
You've got to have one of them. Everybody's got thousands of the bloody things.
I hate them.
That flashing LED is upsetting me.
Sorry.
Which one? The one in the middle? Or the one in the scatter?
The very bright one. That's covered up with a bit of paper because it's very bright.
Yeah. Yeah, I apologise for that.
Don't apologise, Chris. There's no need to apologise. Just slightly frustrated
Yes.
because I've got this great idea.
Yes. Rance informed me both simultaneously by picture and text that he was not happy with the level of brightness.
Oh. Don't get butthurt over it.
It is bloody bright. It was bloody bright.
And that's 1/4 of the brightness that came out of the box too.
Mate, you should have seen how much crap Arturia copped with the key step. With the beat step and the key step. I think it was the key step. And they ended up having to do a firmware update so that you could turn down the brightness of the LEDs on the pads and the knobs and stuff. They literally just copped the roasting.
I only use the module in a bright room so far,
Yeah.
so it didn't bother me, but I can see
into
why
the
the
firmware.
dark room it would be bad. So.
Oh, I hate USB micro. They suck, like, so bad. They really suck. Whoever invented it, I swear to God, someone needs to go and meet the person who invented it and just punch him in the face.
Well, they wanted skinny phones.
That's a bit harsh.
The problem is, it's probably the same guy who. It's probably the guy who ended up designing USB-C. So be careful.
Exactly.
Yeah, everyone wanted skinny phones and skinny USB players, music players. So that's where it came from.
Oh, you just say, that was my best mate. What are you talking about? And he's like a black belt. I don't know. I have no idea. I've plugged it in now. I have no idea if this thing's connected. God help me. So, select MIDI port. Input.
Ooh.
It's not there. It's not there.
A MIDI device.
Select main module. Yeah. How do we connect this thing up?
Maybe
It's not showing you can get current
write the
settings.
firmware. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe close it.
Ah, yeah. Try closing it. Yeah. Oh, was that a dialog box?
Yeah, I turned it off. And
Flashed
turned
up
it on.
USB thing, sorry, Matt.
It's gone straight into Scooper this time. But it didn't yeah, I don't know. Maybe I
Don't
have to,
bork your scooper. It's a valuable module. So
maybe turn it off, turn it on again. Use the Roland PSD adapter on the eurorack or the eurorack power only. So you can't power it with USB, right? That's good. So I'm doing the right thing with the power. But I can't see. I can't see. Just do this later, eh?
Do you need my glasses, Hans? I told you that as well.
I just can't see
This
it.
is the reason why my picture is perfect.
It could be a an old software that just doesn't recognize stuff in the Mac. Interestingly though, if I connect this into live, can I see the device in live? Does it come up as a
audio device or a MIDI device?
MIDI, where are you, MIDI? Yeah. Roland A, no, it doesn't. What have I got here?
Interesting.
I'm not seeing anything.
Probably
Maybe
to
I'm not.
install the driver.
People are probably screaming in chat. You've got to do this. You've got to do that. Why are you doing that? I've never done it before. That's why I'm not doing it. I haven't read the manual. I'm going to probably read the manual, guys. So, yeah, maybe I should do that.
Come back to it.
Yeah. Anyway, first time for a long time since I've done that. And on the website, there is actually a manual here. Download the expander file. How to install. Start the application. Manual setup. Download the customizer manual. Yeah, let's do that. Why do you not have the manual here, people? Customizer manual. Probably under support. Maybe. No, it's just one file. Okay, we'll just download it.
the software zip didn't have the manual inside it.
No, it just had the package. I'm just trying to find the manual. I don't think it's there. Let's just download that first, though. Oh, okay, that's the Torcido manual. We don't want that, but anyway, that's fine. All right, let's not worry about it. I'll work it out later, and if there's any sort of cool things that I find out about it, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, the cool thing about those modules is that you can, they actually work for a start. From what they, what you buy them to do. So, for example, if you were to put, we could put this Sealegs into the back of this, right? We can put that into there. No, put that into there. Sorry, that's the output. Put the output into the output. And the input into the input. Okay. And it probably needs a clock. These things usually need a clock, but I'm not going to see if I can get around it. Let's see if we can get this thing to work. Okay. I haven't used this module for a while, so bear with me.
It might be one of those moments when you put it in and you go, oh my god, I've wanted this for ages.
It's...
And then you can plug it in and say, oh my god, this is why I've never used it.
It's doing weird shit here, right? It looks like it's like crashed. That looks like a crash. Do you see how it's blinking?
Mm.
Yeah, it's weird.
Maybe this is the USB connection or not.
Yeah, take that USB B out.
Yeah, it looks like it's crashed. It almost looks like it's probably not getting enough power. Yeah. That kind of to me looks like it's not getting power.
They're a little dim.
Yeah.
LEDs.
Oh, green light.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not getting enough power. Cool. All right, it's probably the eurorack case. They're probably pretty power hungry, those things, anyway. I probably should unplug it.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, what are we up to? Did everyone enjoy the Sealegs last week? Was there any questions about the Sealeg? I had a few people comment saying that they thought it was...
but that's not a question.
So a few people commented saying they thought it was a bit basic. Like a bit... like
prosaic. Which is unfair, but...
Yeah. But...
what, the module's a bit basic, or...?
No, like the sound. They thought the sound was kind of not anything special. It just sounded like a delay. A few people said that.
Missing character.
It's a lot of fine control, though. That's cool.
It was very nerdy. It's good.
We didn't really sort of test it out properly, though. Did we? There's a few things that I didn't tell you guys about.
Now you tell us.
I did it on purpose.
Oh.
Hey, Rance.
Yep.
Could you show me the LED blinks that represent the colour? If you're not good with colour sensitivity.
Oh, this thing here.
Oh, okay. Is that blinking all the time?
Yeah. So that there's different modes on it. So you go.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it. I have to get the manual out. No, the Demora is now in the way. Get that out of the way. So there's different modes, and as you press the modes, the blinks change, right? So there's kind of like sequences of blinks, and it will tell you in the manual what the blinks are like.
Yeah,
You
I had a look at the manual, that section.
That reminds me of Airplane.
See exactly.
But the point is that some people can't see color properly, right? So if you're looking if you're looking at your module, in fact, let me turn the light off here so you can see it a bit better, and I'll take the little sticky off. Right, if you look at that, it's quite bright, right? If you compare it to the Behringer LED, these LEDs, even these aren't as bright, so that's quite bright. So you could just put a bit of resistance on it, just taper it off a slightly bit. But when you've got that staring right in your face, you know,
it's annoying.
It's quite.
What are the other colours like on it when you move it? Is it
it's
just
also
that one
probably not great for the camera too, I found.
So these are the different. So you can see, look at just around it. Like if I zoom in, right? Can you see the glow around it?
Yeah, it's bleeding too much. Yeah, it's overexposing the camera and does the same thing to your eyes.
There we go. I like it, but I do like how you get to white, and then you get to recycle through. So that I look for white if I want to cycle through.
So you can kind of count.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's that. So yeah, I was going to get that manual up, wasn't I? The Sealegs manual, because I read about it.
I had a look at the manual, but it didn't really explain how it looks visually. It just says it flashes 3 times, but that doesn't mean anything. Like, how fast is it flashing? Is it flashing rapidly? Is it flashing slowly? Does it flash for a while and then go solid?
So the tap tempo. Here we go here. Right. So the tap tempo, whilst holding down the Alt button, right? Let's go across here so you guys can see it. Whilst holding down the Alt button, you press this button repeatedly to cycle through the destination options for the aux CV up here. Okay. The magenta, which is a single flash, in brackets, the aux CV jack controls the drive at the depth set by the aux CV attenuator, which is there, right? That's the aux CV attenuator there. So if I press Alt, see how it's magenta and it's a single flash?
Yep. Oh, hang on. Oh,
and
yeah, it's just winking out, or is it?
Yeah, it's very, very subtle.
Is it getting brighter?
Yeah, it
getting darker.
It gets brighter.
Okay, right.
So it stays dark and it gets brighter. And then if I press it again, it will go yellow. Yellow is 2 flashes, so you get 2 flashes. See that?
Okay, yeah. Okay.
And then white is 3 flashes. So I visually can see that.
So it's about a 1 second repetition between repetitions of the flashes.
Yeah. So what it is that not
cool.
not everybody. This is nothing. This is not a dig at you or anything, Chris, because it's not.
No.
But it's for people who develop. Yeah. Not everybody can see colours, and some people can see some colours and not others, and they have coloured perception deficiencies, and some people can see no colours at all. And then you've got blind people, but we're not talking about blind people in this case because flashing lights aren't really helpful for blind people. But yeah, so I think the thing that annoys me a little bit with some of the stuff is that I've got some gear here that I can't actually tell the difference between orange and red and yellow in some things, because the LEDs, even if you've got perfect color perception, they're saying, "Oh, this is orange," and like, why would you choose 3 colors that look similar on an LED?
I tried to avoid that completely by putting colors that were too similar. So yellow and orange was a no-no.
Yep.
Certain things on the color spectrum you don't put together, which is why there's a limited number of modes on the GP82.
Well, you can have them
really running out of colors,
but have them so they're separate. Like, don't have yellow then orange then red. Like, have yellow then blue then magenta then red.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Like, have them so that
you don't put similar colors together in sequence.
Yeah.
You put them far apart, so it's obvious, when you get the red and you get a yellow, and then you get the blue and yellow, that's the other yellow.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. So if we're talking about your module, which I think it's worth talking about, a couple of things I've noticed, and it could be a configuration plumbing, like patching thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you if I go to this, right, and enable all my I enable them all on. I'm trying to do this. I can't actually see this screen. This screen is pointing directly up to the camera there.
Oh, yeah.
It's all these cables. Like my eyes are behind.
Glasses, I'm telling you.
It's not. Stop it, Darren. Stop it. All right, let's change this to norm, and then we'll set the the milliseconds. So if we start doing this, there we go.
You've got a longish sequence with multiple steps.
Okay, we can zoom in on this too a bit.
Yeah.
Love 4K cameras. Right, so what you're seeing with the Mordax data is it's actually, I've got all the gates going in through the buffered malts here. So that way you can actually visually see the lights. As we start changing the different settings on this, I can slow the clock down. So you can see that's the clock coming in there.
Yep.
And that's the clock going out there. That's a bit annoying, isn't it, that thing? The little CE thing. Get rid of it. Why do they put those things on there? Like it's right next to the light. Who did that? Look at this. Who does this? Who puts it right next to where the light is? So that when you plug it in...
Yeah. It obscures...
I'm going to fix that.
It's like a mattress tag. Don't remove it.
Bye. Gone. Anyway, so you can see the different clocks now showing up on the oscilloscope, right? Now the cool thing about that is that we can now map. We can now actually see the mapping of the times and whether they're actually syncing up. Like, so your start gate and your end gate will be different in some of the respects, but you can also see whether there's any sort of time differences as well.
Yeah,
okay.
Trigger delay and whatnot. Yeah.
So, I mean, Mordax data is very basic, but I can actually set this up. I can only do 2 though. I've only got a 2-channel oscilloscope, but I can set it up to literally data log all the gates coming in and out of this thing.
Okay.
So the thing that I noticed with this, anyway, let's go back to the wide view, is, and it could be, like I said, it could be a thing that I'm doing wrong, a patching thing, is that if you've got this being controlled by a gate clock from Pam's workout, right? But Pam's workout has got 8 other outputs, right? And you might have other things that are... I was talking to Brooksy about this before. You might have other things that have been clocked by the same Pam's thing, but only one of the channels of Pam's is coming into here. Okay? The way I understand your module works, right, is it takes the gate first, right? And then it does its calculations and it sends the information to the sequencer, and then because you've got your gate out, right? You could then obviously clock things from the out of this, which would be relative to what's happening on the settings here. However, there are sometimes very, very subtle changes to phasing of the gate, and you might find that you might end up being in a swing step situation. It doesn't go out of time, but it might go out of phase. And that is usually when you're going start, stop. So there's a stop, right? Now if I bring a kick drum into this, which is not clocked by any of this here except for Pam's. So the only commonality is Pam's is clocking both, right? And it's not a problem with Pam's, trust me. Maybe we should turn the delay off so we can hear it better. And if I turn that... So when you start doing the clock dividing, this is where your module is actually now doing the calculations, right, Chris?
Yep.
So now this sequencer is being completely driven by calculations based on your modules taking the gate and then dividing it, right? If I stop it, start it. See how the kick is now offbeat?
Yep.
Stop it, start it. Now the kick is on beat. See that? So you've got some phasing.
So it's the clock divider not resetting when the transport resets.
Yeah. And this is why we beta test people.
Probably fix that. Yep, I can definitely put that in.
I personally think
good tip.
The biggest issue you've got with this, it's not your module that's the problem. It's the failings of the 182. The 182 doesn't have a reset. I mean, we talked about this right? Yeah. Because it doesn't have a reset. Like if you look at the Intellijel Metropolis, it has a reset, which is probably one of the biggest things it needed. So basically what happens is if you don't have a reset, you've stopped, right? I've stopped it. I then have to manually
step,
go back to 1,
step,
and then press start.
Subtract 1,
And
actually, you have to go to step 8 to get to step
8.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so you could also stop it there. I mean, it's not a big it's not a big deal. Everyone
Yeah.
had to do that in the 70s with the System 100Ms. So it's not like the end of the world. But I can't see how you're going to be able to keep track of each of these steps. Like, how are you going to know? There's no sort of there's no ID next to each of these steps. It doesn't know.
There's only one electrical signal, or other than the actual reading the LED using some kind of optocoupling type thing. There is actually a last step pulse that is coming out of the 182.
Right.
But we don't have an additional spare input on the GP82 to utilize that. So we'd have to steal the operation of something else in order
Well, you've got
to
your two CVs.
make use of it.
You've got your two CVs, which you could use the second one, or is it the
You
first
could,
one?
yeah.
Sorry, the first one.
CV1, which is the second one. God,
Yeah.
that's not confusing.
Well, I mean, you're kind of using CV2 more than you're using CV1, right?
Yes, and it was just because CV2 matches the
CV2 on the
out
module.
to
Yeah.
on the 182, which makes it quick to patch up, and
Yeah.
the priority was to get people going straight
I
as
get that.
quickly
Yeah,
as
yeah.
possible.
I don't have a problem with that. So you're using CV1 as,
A utility,
possibly,
an extension, so that could easily be switched to using some kind of a config mode or something to switch it to this other function.
But remembering too, like
this,
this, I mean, this stuff is kind of it's so sometimes you got to stay true to yourself. Okay, so there's the GP82. Maybe this stuff is more for a GP82 XL or a GP82 expansion module. Right?
Yeah.
And one of the ideas I had,
Hmm.
as I'm just telling the world, not just this already, Chris. One of the ideas I had was with an expansion module, what you could do is you could do an array of 8 potentiometers like this, okay, and you'd have a reset input, and you could also have that spare CV input if you needed, and that could expand the GP82, and then that opens up this module back into having the possibility of using 16 steps again. So that solves a problem, adds a new feature, adds 2 new features actually, and also solves another problem that you've got. So these are just considerations whilst we're sort of testing things out. I should also mention too, Chris already knows this stuff, so it's nice to get his comments, by the way. I tested the Metropolis with this, and I can't remember if I took photos of it or not, but it doesn't really matter anyway, because you can't really take photos of ratcheting. And it's kind of stupid. It was an idea that I had, and I thought, yeah, let's try it out, and it did it, but it really is kind of stupid when you think about it. Say you've got a pretty fast clock anyway, it might be 4 times the BPM that you've got as your stable clock, and then you're ratcheting, it might be a triplet ratcheting on each step, and then you've got a ratchet on top of a ratchet that's doubling that. It's sometimes your envelope generator can't even handle that.
No,
I mean, it already gets pretty ratchety with this module, so it's quite ratchety already. So.
Well, yeah, exactly. You can ratchet this thing to what is it? Does it 16 ratchets, which is insane. And I don't think, to be honest, I don't know of many envelope generators that would be able to handle that. 16 ratchets.
You go straight into the VCA and you got a chance.
Yeah.
So just literally go straight into a VCA.
Yeah.
That was
you'd have to bypass
it.
Yeah. And even though you'd have to have a pretty decent VCA. Low pass gates, maybe, I don't know. Yeah.
Possibly they'd slow response would be even
non-Vactrals, I meant to say. Sorry, not Vactrals. Non-Vactrals. Non-Vactrals.
I was driving Elements with it, which has a built-in VCA, so it was quite ratchety.
Oh yeah.
But without digressing too far, poor Brooksy's module's bright LED isn't on at all at the moment, so perhaps we should do a little bit of.
Shall I wire it in?
When you think about it,
yeah,
this is a good thing.
Sorry, Darren, you go.
you can find out. I was just saying, it's a good thing that this is happening while you're testing these modules, because I mean, you don't want to be shipping out loads out and then suddenly find out that they're all going down, and it was something that Brooks's module had that you hadn't realised. I mean, hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's something simple.
Well, you don't. The thing is, you don't want Brooksy to send it back and it's still fine. That's the other thing, because it might be something that you can fix over a camera as well. Yeah, Brooksy, you don't want look at Wagoo's comment.
It's working.
What's Wagoo just? I've got me points at synthetics.
We're going to get flames on Brooksy's cam in a moment.
If the magic smoke has been released, it already has been. I think.
There hasn't been any smoke. There's been no smell of burning or anything.
No.
But it's,
no.
You know, it's
how
the Go case now. The Go case is on.
Okay.
The D and the Pro One, the LEDs are on there, working fine, but there's no LED on the. On that.
Yeah. So you can't.
And it wasn't working.
You can't bring it in.
The LED had gone. Even if the
Can
LED
you?
had
Does
gone,
the case? Does the case have a switch? Can you switch the case on and off?
Yeah, at the back.
Yes.
And would you be able to pull your webcam perhaps over? Would you be able to reach the module at the moment?
Sure how far it'll be able to go.
Yeah. I just want to see if it flashes at all when you switch it on, because it should flash white.
I'll have to take my headphones off a sec.
Yeah. Live troubleshooting, people. Okay, where is it?
Case off.
Okay.
Case on.
Okay.
I couldn't see.
Where the module is at the moment.
Did it flicker at all on the LED?
I didn't see any white.
Oh, you can't hear us.
Light.
Did it flicker on that LED at all?
Sorry, headphones. Now. No, nothing.
Okay, it could be dead. Have you tried?
Sorry,
have you tried putting a? Ask him if he's tried putting a clip through it.
Sorry, Ron. Say that again, because I just had to leave the case switched off.
Have you tried putting anything through it, like to see if it still actually works, a clock or anything like that?
I mean, I had it wired in the P mode, the purple mode, and it was just for the ratchets really. There was nothing coming out of it. It was because nothing was coming out of it. I was going, "Whoa, what's going on?" And I went back and I rechecked my cabling, rechecked the patching, and that was when I went, "Oh, that LED's not on." Oh dear. So I tried it. I tried it with a different power cable, to connecting it to the bus, the flying bus board, and then I tried it into a different flying bus cable, still the same. And then I took it out and popped it into the Go case as well. So, and everything else in the case is fine. Everything else in the bespoke case here is working absolutely fine. It's just that one module.
Yeah, maybe you could take some photos of it.
If I switch it on now, you'll see that the bit box comes on.
Hey, Brooksy, you should get the thing I linked in the chat. Put one in each of your modules. It's only one U. It's the Constant Lab Power Checker. I love that thing. I always know my stuff is ready to go when all three lights come on. So
he's got that on his bus board.
I've actually,
you have it on the bus board?
Actually got it.
Yeah.
No, it's already on the tip-top display. The three lights there for 12 volt,
three lights.
plus 12, minus 12, and 5. So
the module only uses plus 12, minus 12 anyway. The 5 volts generated by a regulator.
I just like having it in each case, so I know each case is tip-top. But yeah.
What I was going to suggest, Brooksy, is maybe you could get some photos with your phone.
Yeah, we can do an inspection.
Before you post it, maybe there might be.
Will you be able to see immediately? Will you be able to sort of see that? Oh, that's not right. That's not right. Well, I'll do that, Chris. I'll photocopy. I'll photocopy.
The other thing.
The
other thing it might.
Photocopy. You're on about my
the other thing that might.
You're photocopying.
I'm going to fax it to you, Chris.
Oh no! Yeah. The other thing that you might want to try.
What's this camera doing?
The other thing that you might want to try, Brooksy, is if you can pull it out, if the cable can reach out the front of your module, just get it in your hands and
you know how the two boards are at right angles to each other, and they're connected. The front board is connected to the back board at right angles.
I'll dig it out again. One sec.
Yeah. Cool.
Right, fire away again, Chris. Sorry.
Okay, so you know how the front board is connected to the back board via those little pins that are at right angles? So you got one board pointing one way and one board pointing the other.
Yeah.
If you could try just giving a little bit of a flex when you got it plugged in and see if it comes to life. Like, I'm just wondering if the connectivity between the two boards is like a solder may have broken or something like that. I thought, because you were mentioning that you had a bugger of a time getting it into the case. Yeah, it wasn't.
Oh no, that wasn't to do with plugging. That wasn't to do with plugging it in. It was to do with screwing it through these big holes at the top. I kept missing the sliding nut. That's all that was.
Oh,
It
yes.
was getting me ready for this.
Okay.
I wasn't bashing it about. You know, it wasn't that I was trying to force it in the case.
So it was that wasn't. So that the comment wasn't specific to the GP82. It was just a general
No,
frustration.
It was just, it'll be a meme,
General
won't it?
frustration. I'm sorry, my mistake. Yeah, my mistake. I
So,
misinterpreted that.
I'll
Completely.
I don't know how much to wiggle it. I don't want to wiggle it too much, but I can. Shall I go
Yeah,
give it
no,
another try
not
now?
much. Oh, you might as well.
It was a
Just-
tiny wiggle. Tiny wiggle. I'll see what happens.
Just a tiny wiggle. I thought to wiggle it while it's switched on. I reckon.
Wiggle it just a little
Chris
bit.
is like that. He's
little
just
bit.
beating my flipping module to bits. No wonder it broke.
He has got history. I'm only saying that because he can't hear me.
Yeah, don't get an electric shock, Andy. on live on.
Okay. No life.
Sorry for the view of my backside. There we are. Nada.
No life. Okay. We'll do a quick photographic. If you could send me some photos, and I'll just check that over and see if I can see anything wrong. And otherwise, I guess you'll have to send it back, return it.
I guess
We'll work out something.
Yeah.
Well, as they say, failure in Mythbusters, failure is an option. And from failures we learn something. So hopefully we'll learn something from this. I'm really sorry though. I'm just.
No, don't apologise, Chris.
I'm pretty gutted actually because you were the one I really was interested in seeing what you could do with it. So
yeah, book a
we'll
Ranzee.
get there though.
Yeah, Ranzee, can you send me yours? You don't need it.
Okay. I know. I really should keep my bloody mouth shut, shouldn't I?
No
That's
offense,
it.
isn't
I'm going to
there?
get hate mail.
Ranzee's just rubbing salt in the wound now. That's what he's doing.
He's never going to talk to me
Stop
ever
it.
again.
Just-
Yeah, I'm the one that bought a 182 just to test the damn thing. So
Has Andy got
Yeah,
Andy,
that's dedication, Andy. I am impressed.
It is actually.
Yeah. Has Andy
Ranzee,
got?
we're trying to
Have you
just
got
haven't
your
had space for
conversation?
it, so it worked out okay.
Ranzee's so upset he's not letting anybody else get a word in edgeways now. So
Actually,
No, I was
this is
thinking-
interesting. I just. Sorry, you go, Darren.
There you go. I'll turn
There
it
you
on.
go,
I was just saying, has Andy Brooks, is he the only one who's took it in and out of the case? Has everyone else just left theirs in the case once fitted?
Good question.
I've only left mine in the case. Yeah.
well,
Okay,
this
so-
Grace and I last week we basically reorganised the entire case here to get these things in to sit next to the 180, have the 180 in a sensible place, to send the gates out to different sources. And we did a sort of an entire case rebuild, and it was in the case, and it absolutely worked fine last Saturday. And all that's happened, the case has come back home, and I've repatched stuff. I was getting ready for doing an EMOM, and I decided to keep things simple. I wasn't going to use it in that gig because I knew what was already set up, so I unpatched it. And then once that was all done and dusted, I was trying to create a patch for Grace and I for tonight to do a hardware jam session tonight, and that's when I decided to repatch it in because I wanted to use it in that particular patch. That's when I found it stopped working somehow. So I didn't even notice when I was working on the stuff for the EMON patch that the LED hadn't come on. It was only because I was trying to get it to work. And it's obviously an obvious thing, isn't it? That LED, but I hadn't noticed. So you can add it to the list of other things that Andy's broken. It's okay. It's fine.
It's like I've got a sister that's just the same. My older sister, I've made a few things over the years because I'm like the resident maker, sort of. So my sister's had some projects over the years that she's enlisted me to do, and I always give it to her, and she's always the one who brings it back saying, "I'm sorry, I broke it." So maybe you've got the same gene.
Brooksy can be the American tourist gorilla.
Or maybe it's me.
This is the famous ad.
Maybe it's me.
The sad truth of the matter is, I've never actually broken anything, really. Yeah, stop it, Rams.
You didn't make it on a Friday afternoon, did you, Chris?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, anyway.
I made yours. I made Brooksy's and Synth Addicts at the same time, so...
He made mine last.
Goes. No, I made yours first.
I'm kidding. I know.
Mine's
serial number one.
You know I made it. You know I made yours first.
Has it got a serial number on it? Oh, we yours as well. Number 2. Oh, thanks.
Yeah. No, that's probably why I gave him the number 2. And you can't polish a number 2.
Oh, bang bang tish, bang bang tish.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, MX-1 done. GP82 update done.
All done.
Yeah, I think we're all done. We can talk about anything you like now, chatties. Ask us anything. Go. Anything you like. I think there's about a 15-second delay, so give them a sec.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a delay. Yeah. So.
Oh, there you go. Anyone here ask anything you like? Wigoo knows too much about everyone, I think. That's the problem. He's now talking about your car.
Yeah.
I had some twit run up the back of me the other day. I think I told you guys. I was at a traffic light. It was red, and everyone else was stopped, and this twit just ran straight into the back of me. Like it's not like we had just stopped, or you know what I mean. Like sometimes.
Was he in a car, or did he just run into the back of you?
No, he was in a car. He was in a car.
I've done that. I rode my bicycle into the back of a parked vehicle once.
Oh, that's not good.
That's why I've got a chipped tooth, repaired chipped tooth. So.
Wow. Hang on, questions are coming in. Whoa, here we go.
Yeah. Is there a pub tonight?
Is there a pub tonight?
Keith, we don't know.
We haven't seen Kent, so we don't know.
We haven't seen Kent, so we don't know.
Yeah.
Grace asked a question about the 960 sequencer.
Yeah.
Will the GP82 play nice with the 960? Yeah.
If you configure the setting that I haven't told Brooksy about, well, it's no point now, but there's a setting in the service menu. There's a setting in the service. All the surprises and a ruined.
Chris, that is really rubbing the salt in the wound. You know that, don't you?
Hey, I've got a 960 here.
Look, it hurts. Believe me, it hurts me more than it hurts you.
Said the headmaster as he aimed the
yeah, exactly.
living daylight.
Yeah. No, there's a configuration setting to make it work with the 960. And yes, it will. But I don't have a 960, so I haven't actually tested it in practice.
Well, that was
but
something we could have
Rant
done.
does, so maybe that'll be on his list.
No, it's back again. Yeah, it's possibly. Yeah. So, well, it was nice being a
now I'm going to have to buy a 960 to test that out, too.
I put my 960 away because I didn't want it to get injured while it was sitting out of the case, right? So I put it away. But here it is.
But what it's going to do now is going to show everybody that it's got it.
Everyone wants to know what a 960 looks like.
That's the Behringer. Yeah.
So it's just
upside down.
It's just a little thing, you know.
Oh, the electrons are going to fall out quick.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
Okay.
It's a wonderful thing, really.
And it also
It's a great
needs,
performance
there's
tool.
another little module that
Massive.
that goes with it, right?
Yeah, it's a
It
good-
is huge. Like if I
there's
was
a
to show you
sequential
next to the
switch,
Nifty case,
Actually,
this will blow your mind. How big's a Nifty case? It's about a 960. It literally is.
you know, Rats, you could probably fit that and a GP82, and you might have a full case. You could take that gigging. You could blink some
goes
lights.
crazy.
It goes. I'll be sensible. It goes from the left to the end of the Mordac. So you do have, you know.
I found that the
bet
Pod
it's
64 will hold the 960 plus that extra module.
Yeah. Anyway, so what's the special things that we have to do with it? Do something.
There's
on the back.
no. It's a service menu, which I will have to talk you through because I'll just finish the manual. How's that?
Yeah, do that.
It's a service setting.
Just let me
yeah.
read it. I'll be a good boy. Yeah. No, but
You
the
basically
good thing
so the little you know the switches, the fact that the two rotaries are numbered.
Yep.
So basically what you do when you go into service mode, you can set which parameter you're changing on the top knob and the value you want to set it to on the bottom knob, and then you press the button and hold it down and that writes it.
Okay.
But I'll have to tell you how to get into service mode first, which is a little bit of a faff because it's
Secret.
a simple module with a lot of buttons.
Or maybe we have a 960 menu option. Can we do that? Can we have
You
like
mean a mode?
mode? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. But then you don't get access to all 7 modes, which you would have access to all 7 modes if it's when it says a config option. You get all the same.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, but possibly a mode.
but you could drop
From
one of the
960.
modes. I think one of the modes you could drop.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah. No, you're probably right.
one of them is probably not the needed as much.
Let's
and
just
you could have that
let's
as
just
well.
say
Bernoulli Gate's,
this.
Bernoulli Gate's pretty fun, actually.
Bernoulli's good, yeah. I like having with that. What I was going to say with the 960, I guess kind of what a lot of people don't realize is this is very, very simple in a sequencer world. Like with the GP82, it makes it a little bit more complex, but it really is very, very simple. This sequencer, like almost too simple, like over simple. Whereas the 960 probably is a little bit more complex. I feel can be a little bit more complex in a good way. You can do, you know. I don't know. I kind of feel like you can do sort of more interesting things.
You can do a lot more variation. The switches, the switch, the run, the stops, all of that stuff. It's much more of a performative device.
Yeah,
a lot more.
Playable.
On the 180, all you can really do is just increase or decrease the number of steps that it's playing. Whereas on that, you can have it jump to different ones and cycle round ones.
Yeah.
It's
it's.
you can send a lane out to modulate your filter or something else, you know.
And they have individual gates on each
it's
step,
more
don't
this,
they? So
right?
you could do a percussion, you could trigger percussion.
I think it's
modules
more.
with it.
Personally, I think it's more this. So see those tiny little pots there that you tune your sequencer with there versus
the
these.
size of those knobs. Yeah.
And so you actually get a lot more kind of, and you can do that while you're playing the sequence too. So I feel this is much, much more playable. This is those switches that Andy was talking about.
It very much is. Do you know, Rants, about the attenuator trick on your 182? If you run your CV1 channel, or your pitch CV, through an attenuator and then into a quantizer, that effectively narrows down the sweep range of the pot, so you can pick notes much more accurately.
Oh yeah, and you can use the Behringer module, the mixer module. What's it called?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, any attenuator or attenuverter.
Yeah,
you can also slide bigger knob tracks so we get finer control.
You could
basically you'd reduce the range of the knob, and then you get more finer control, more accurate control.
But yeah,
Yep.
but I kind of feel like the 960 you get a different type of sequence music out of it. That's how. I mean, it's just probably me, the way I work. I feel like the 182 is kind of more like Brooksy said. You're kind of setting it and you're forgetting it, and you're probably maybe you're mucking around with that step length switch a little bit. I feel like you're kind of the more thing you do with it is you're transposing it. You know, like I was doing before. You just literally. You're just transposing it with a keyboard. I feel like that's its that's its power strength. But then with the 960 you can transpose that, and then you've got that extra module where you can merge the steps together, which is pretty handy. So you got 3 lanes of what is it? 16? 8, sorry.
Yeah, it's a lot. There are a lot of lanes on that thing. That's cool.
So 3 lanes of 8, merge them together. It's pretty cool. I don't know. Like I probably haven't played with this as much as the 182, to be fair. Only because I was always wanting to put this into my new case, which I've never built, and it usually tends to have a pretty big bearing on things. Because I've only got so much modular space here. There's only so much here.
And it does take up a lot of room. It really does.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean,
But it
Brooksy,
looks
you've got
looks hell fun.
You've got a few of the Behringer synths in yours, haven't you? You've got the Pro 1 in yours.
I mean, in that Go case up there, there's the Pro 1 and the D. The 960 used to live on the bottom row where you can see those surplus System 100 modules. We did put the 960 into the new. Oops, which way am I going?
That way.
There we go. So it's in there at the bottom. You can just see the little red buttons there. Again, because it's actually just fun to play with at times, because it does more than there's the 182 up there in the corner, and the telltale gap.
The GP82 gap.
Yeah, GP82 gap. So next to it, the depth for quantizer. So it was all chained together. It was all in the right place. And last week we had it all sending out gates to the bit box, and we had it going out into the plats as well. And then we were using the precision adder to transpose. We had it going. It was great. Now it's not going. No, it's very, very not going.
Oh, so disappointing.
I need a Stormy Daniels blanking panel. I've got some blanking panels over there actually that from the chap who made the Matriarch Breakout box, which I got for Grace. What were they called? What was he called? Voltage Vibes.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
Voltage Vibes. Yeah,
What
he
Chris
makes
and I
really
do-
interesting little.
Chris, you can tell them. I'll show them. You tell them what we do for blank panels.
With what? With blank panels?
Where we get our blank panels
We
from.
buy them. We buy our blank panels from an electronics supplier. Radio spares in this case.
They are meaty. I'm going to open one. I'm going to unbox one.
Nice aluminium panels.
They are
And
meaty.
they're 2.5 mil. Actually, they're 3 mil. No, they're 2.5.
There you go. There's a part number for those playing along at home. Made in
I don't need the
Germany.
panels. All my
If you-
stuff is full.
And they're anodized.
look how
Grey
thick.
anodized.
Look how thick that is. All right. Get another eurorack.
Serious panels.
Probably not the best one.
I made a lot
Excellent.
of my earlier modules with those panels.
That's definitely thicker than a standard PCB.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, the good thing about these is they're, like you said, they're anodized, they're thick, and they come in all different sizes. So you can literally, chuck them in over and screw them into your side of your case like that. And they look nice. I like it. That one's not the right size for that, but I've got heaps here. You probably bought a whole stack too, didn't you?
I've got a few, but I've been going through them by making modules with them.
More different sizes.
Oh,
So,
blank panels. You never realised they were so exciting. At
Mm.
least mine say things.
I know a guy who.
They're not.
Unfortunately, Unfortunately, they don't do a 2 HP one though. They're going to go down to 4 HP.
They go down to 4. Yeah.
Got 2 HP ones as well.
They do some big ones though. Look,
Yeah.
there's some big suckers. Like that. That's bigger than the Mordax Data. Is that bigger than the? Yeah, it's bigger than the Sealegs too. Some big suckers. I've got smaller ones. I don't know where they've gone though. What the hell's that? No. Anyway. I had a whole bunch of panels that I was going to show you guys because they're really kind of handy. They're kind of handy.
I found mine, Rance.
Okay, go.
So, it's a 4 HP one, which you get in packs of 5.
They're really
Something like
handy.
that.
Yep.
They're really very nice, yes.
Well, can I flash mine at you now?
Oh, hey.
Got a big one.
It's all right. Just let mine
Flash your
first.
panels, go on.
Patch wisely.
Patch wisely.
Who's wise?
Are you ready? This is for you, Ian.
That's great, yes.
Hey, if you're
Yes.
not careful, I'm going to go in the
You're
garage and get
yeah.
my 19-inch
Yes.
rack blanking plates.
Oh, they're nice.
We'll have a look at them.
19-inch wrap. I thought you were going to say you're going to get yourself a nice 19-inch sort of modular
No.
rack unit thing you
Oh.
could put in it.
No.
Oh, you.
I like it when modular
Crushing
people do these
disappointment.
things. I like it when they
Well-
do these things, guys. Ready?
When I come and stay, you've got a chance to tell me about it, haven't you?
I like it. When
You've got a chance to, you've got a chance
like it
to
when
put
you've
your
got a-
these things.
I like it when you've got a black one, and they also come with a silver one,
So yeah, but to me, they do that, don't they?
and also the potty as well. I got the potty
what?
and the Batumi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, on my potty.
No, Waggo, I'm not going to start doing eurorack.
Yeah, he is. He is really. We know he is.
Well, it starts with the tracking soft polygon tracker and
Did you guys get
Oh,
these?
don't-
slippery slope.
Don't,
When
Chris,
you
don't,
bought your
please.
when you guys bought your feedback modules, did you guys get these stickers?
No,
Oh, they're wicked.
I didn't get
Like
one of
those.
those.
There's some wicked stickers that they've sent. Yeah.
Though they're big stickers. They're not going to go into the punk box, are they?
No, they're-
They've come with the mixer modules, haven't they? Yeah.
Intellijel do it as
They're
well.
lovely
They-
stickers.
The Intellijel module came with stickers. Yeah. Anyway, what happened to that module? I'm sad.
All right.
I'm very sad. Anyway, I have the drawers open everywhere here now, with bubble wrap going everywhere. I do recommend that you use drawers for your modules, Brooksy, if you can. Just draw them, that is.
I always wear
drawers.
pants when
I've
I'm
got-
using modules.
I've got none which aren't in a case somehow.
Oh, I've got
They're all
stacks.
in a case somewhere. Yeah, I know. Well,
I've got lots in the drawer,
not
and I've
reached
also
that
got
many
some
yet.
sticking out. It's annoying because you want to. Where's the camera gone? You want to have. What happened to that camera? Where's it gone? 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 There, I think it's this one. So you want to have like somewhere to store your modules, but otherwise, this happens. Where's my camera gone? Okay. How do I quick play this? How do I quick play this? There we go. This stuff happens.
No.
You get piles of modules. This literally just happened like half an hour before the show, by the way. So, because I was just moving some stuff around, but I had to quickly put it somewhere, and a whole bunch of modules. All of those modules there. The Metropolis is sitting in there, right? All of those modules there I currently use, so that's why I've just jumped in there. But what you don't want is you don't want a situation where they're permanently sitting there for months. You know, so you want to put them somewhere neatly in a drawer, in a box, if you can, protect them a bit. So, Booksy, you are muted, my friend.
Well, in which case, I'm sorry about that. I did say, if that Metropolis is not used anymore, then I can give a good home for it. And yeah, because I've got all the boxes and everything like that. But
I've got to repair one of the LED sliders on it. One of the LED sliders doesn't light up, and it's a little bit annoying. I bought it that way used. Yeah. I got it cheap because of that.
Yeah, good thing.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
Yeah, I mean the Chris, the external box that you packaged it in, it was so absolutely phenomenally well packed that I had to basically slice it all open. It was like, so I'm gonna have to find another box to wrap it all back up in. I looked at the inner
but it still broke, didn't it?
I went, but importantly, it didn't break in the box. It broke outside the box.
Well, that's the sad thing. Yeah, I said perhaps it's because it's been shipped halfway around the world, but it was actually working this week. You know, it really was. So, what's he found? More blanking panels.
I found my little ones, and the one I'm looking for that goes here. Yes. This is the one I've been looking for all day.
Is this a 6?
Let's see if it fits. Ready, set.
10 HP.
Like a glove.
People.
Where's that?
Like a glove. Oh, and also...
Why don't you just put a 10 HP module in there?
I will. But I just wanted to... I just want to put an early in there. Just to
point.
Oh, now it's not going to flap around in the breeze either, Brooksy. Hey?
Thanks. Glad about that.
Yeah, you don't like things flapping about, do you?
Oh, just stop it going on about me breaking stuff, for pity's bloody sake.
Oh, we're going to have some fun.
It's only allegedly at this stage, though, isn't it? Allegedly broken.
Break something.
Actually, so I was showing you guys these blanking panels, and they are not blanking panels at all. Okay, so these, I didn't buy these as blanking panels at all. What I've bought them for is I actually want to do projects with them, because that's why they're so thick. They're a little. You can see, actually, there's a lip there. You can see actually how thick they are. So they're sitting a little bit higher up. And in a way, that's good, because if you're building stuff and you're drilling into things, you don't want them to buckle and bend, and they're a little bit.
You
more
want that
robust.
because the original Air Instruments module I bought from him was a spring piezo thing.
Yeah.
He used a plastic panel. And you put a tight spring on there, what's going to happen to a plastic panel? It's going to go...
Yep, buckled.
You know?
Yeah.
So you need to have a nice thick panel or not plastic.
But it's,
don't 3D
we can have some fun anyway. But yeah, that's it. We've Euroracked everyone out. Scared all the synth users away. I'm surprised Ian's
I think I left a few hours ago.
I'm still here.
Look,
I did have a nap halfway through, but we're all...
I tried to slap him a few times.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Wake him up. Wake him up.
Actually, Ranzee, I have something funny to show on camera real quick here. So I have another EMOM coming up soon. And if you guys know the story about San Francisco, someone actually tracked a map of all the human waste all throughout the city. These pink dots are 2,000 to 3,000 cases of human waste found on the street or on the road. And the entire city's been tracked. So most of it's on the Tenderloin, the pink area here, and some other stuff, but it's the whole damn city's been tracked in the thousands per dot here. You can zoom in even more and get even more dots if this updates properly.
So do the fire brigade use that? Do the fire brigade use that to work out where the nearest dumpster fire is going to go?
Yeah, exactly. Real dumps. But I mean, if you remember the story I told about the last EMOM I went to, there was a large human, you know what, behind my car. So.
Yes, right.
This map is perfect for that. I can track it ahead of time and know where I'm going.
What's a lovely way to end the show?
No, it's a bit.
Wasn't that great? Well, he mentioned number 2 earlier, so I thought this would be a perfect thing.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's a bit like our local soccer
club. Is that
club.
just the thing?
When you play on the field, you've literally got to look down because of all the dog droppings that people who are lazy when they walk their dogs leave all over your soccer field. It absolutely.
Well, I was walking through Rio, and Rio had no garbage, but there was dog crap everywhere.
Yeah, because they got all the dogs there.
It's really weird.
Yeah. They got
But I mean,
they've got a
no
massive
trash.
amount
It
of
was
dogs.
clean as far as trash goes. So it's weird.
What was I going to say about the tracking thing? Oh yes, the tracking thing, right? Do you guys remember when we had COVID, they were doing the tests on the water supply to see. They wanted to see if there was COVID in your local town, so they'd test the water. And while they were testing the water, they were also testing to see if people were taking methamphetamines and all sorts of other illicit drugs. So they were testing the water and seeing what levels of meth were in the water, of COVID. It was incredible. So that sort of tracking stuff would be interesting, Andy, to see, where the hotspots are of all the meth takers and the hotspots of the of the free dumpers.
Well, the pink area that you saw, the pink dots, a lot of that was the Tenderloin, which is a really bad part of downtown.
So people are literally just dumping on the street.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
So we've got that to look forward to in 10 years' time.
This had thousands. The pink dots were thousands, and that's just like a block.
So who cleans it? Does the council have to come and fire hose it all down, do they?
I think it takes a while, which is why the guy had the idea to do the map. He's like, I'm tired of this crap. Literally, I'm going to put a map out there, so people can see how bad the problem is.
He was pretty crap at mapping. Oh,
exactly.
Is it the same in other cities then, Andy? In the US?
San Francisco's been bad for a long time. It's because it's always had a big homeless problem for lots of reasons.
Right.
But it's the way they manage the homeless. Like I went to Tokyo, and Wagyu could probably attest to this. I saw one homeless guy after being in Tokyo for a week, and I was walking all different areas at night, during the day, whatever. I saw one. You just don't even see them there. But where I live, now they're like RVs on the streets and people, the usual stuff in good and bad parts of town. But with the economy having problems, COVID issues, mental illness, where they, after Prop 13 back in the 80s passed, they dumped out a lot of the mental illness, the wellness centers for people with issues, right? Just dumped out in the street. Yeah, you'll figure your way out. And so a lot of them aren't, they can't get a job or they don't want a job. They can't function. So they live on the street, or they're also drug addicts too. There's a lot of different things. So it's pretty sad actually, but it is depressing. I don't go up there much anymore like I used to. These imams are fun, so I will risk driving around crap in the street and not stepping in it to go to them. But it's a hazard, right?
It's a health hazard.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of reminds me of London in the 1700s, 1800s, That's kind of
there,
what
right? That's amazing.
No, but obviously there's lots of
I knew he was old, but I didn't know it's bad.
material about it. People, stop it. There's lots of material that you've read about it, right? So they had this. It's almost like we've come 150 years full circle back to where we were as a society. It's crazy.
Here's the other thing too that's really annoying about it. Of course, the current president, I'm not a fan of him, but he gets blamed for everything. A lot of this stuff happened during Trump's presidency. We had record homeless. It wasn't as prosperous as he said it was. That's when he started seeing a lot of the RVs in the streets when he was president. And it just got worse over time because it just trickles over to the next group and the next group and the next group. So the Republicans are saying, all these Democrat-controlled cities are the filthiest and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, no, there are plenty of other ones that are Republican-controlled that have the same problem.
I think you
but
could
they
look
spin
at every,
it however they want, right?
I reckon you could look at every president and put something pretty bad on each one of them.
Totally, yeah.
Like, I mean, and
it's a bigger problem than that too. It's the economy, it's world pandemics, a bunch of other stuff that made it all happen. It wasn't just one thing or one president or
I mean, I was watching that thing on Panama the other day, which I thought was really interesting because, I've heard it before. We heard it, probably during the 80s when it happened, late 80s, because it was kind of like Carter and Reagan, era, right? End of Carter, early Reagan. Yeah. And then you had, they literally basically killed a whole bunch of people in Panama just to try and find that guy, because he was becoming a bit of a tyrant. And so all these people literally died as they were trying to sort of, they were bombing a whole sort of suburb. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. And the way they talk about it, like, it had to happen, we had to do it, casualties are inevitable, that sort of stuff. It just really grates on me. And you see it repeat through history constantly. Like, it's happening in Ukraine, it's happening in different parts of Africa, it's happening in South America. It's repeating. It's just like, why do these
also
people
another
get
really
put in
disturbing
power?
thing is that people want to blame Mexico and the so-called open border that we have, which is not true, and all the drugs coming across, which there are a lot of drugs. But guess what? The big pharmaceutical thing with Vicodin and all the opiates, if you guys been following that at all, that's the problem. Those guys are pushing that shit. It never came across the border. It was already here. But they want to take that. Oh, we don't look at that. It's got to be the foreigners. It's got to be the drugs coming across the border.
You see the latest thing the
it
Mexicans
can't be Americans
are doing
that.
The latest thing they're talking about is they're trying to say that, like, California was theirs, and the Americans.
It was Alta California.
The Americans took it off them illegally, and like they want it back. And there's all this sort of shit going on at the moment, and there's this like movement down there. Happen. Well, it'd be a massive war if it did, wouldn't it? There's a movement happening down there. It's crazy.
We have Texas wanting to secede from the Union many times. They're insane.
Yeah.
So a lot of state stuff is really weird.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. So, I mean, Texas has always been like that, hasn't it? It's always been like that.
It's a mess, yeah.
Yeah.
We hate the federal government. We want to privatize everything. But then they had all those problems when the freeze came and the services failed everybody. And they were freezing their home and they're starving and their water wasn't working because it was all privatized and run poorly.
We actually had a referendum here in the state that Chris and I live in where it failed. The referendum failed. It was a national vote, and it didn't fail by much, but it failed. Where we tried to become independent from the rest of the country. Secede, yeah. And there's still people that are pretty pro-seceding that are in charge here, because WA, where we live, it pretty much fuels a lot of the economy of the country because of all the mining exports that we produce here, and we don't see it. So it gets sent over to federal coffers, right? The federal treasury gets the money, and then they distribute it across the whole country, which is how a country should work. I don't have a problem with it personally, but lots of people here do because they feel like it doesn't come back to where it originally came from, and yeah.
Well, you guys probably have guys saying taxation is theft as well, right?
Oh yeah. Well, some of
we have a GST share thing over here where the services tax is collected nationally, but it's distributed differently for different states, and that's a big bone of contention all the time.
I mean, I'll be paying something like $3,000 to $3.5 grand tax just for moving house.
Yeah, stamp duties and things like that. They're stupid, aren't they?
Yeah. Absolutely
I hate
ridiculous.
that because you guys, the same thing happened here. You guys, when you had your VAT introduced, they said, "Oh yeah, don't worry, we'll abolish stamp duties and we'll abolish things, like land taxes and stamp and things like that, and the VAT will just handle the whole thing." So they did the same BS spin here in our country about 20-something years ago when they introduced GST. And we've still got stamp duty, we've still got land tax, we've still got council rates that are stupidly high, and we've still got GST. It's like, Anyway, the tax that I was saying that is probably theft is death tax. That's the one that I feel is theft.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So I think Japan has it. It's ridiculous. Like, they're dead. Why are you taxing them? No, not really taxing the dead. They're taxing the people that have acquired the estate. But
it's actually inheritance tax, isn't it?
Yeah. And the thing that annoys me is that those people have paid tax to acquire that anyway.
Yeah.
So it's already paid
for. People pay tax all their lives from once they start working. You pay tax all their life. In lots of various different ways.
Yeah.
You know.
I can't remember what other countries got death tax or a state tax or whatever you want to call it. But Japan definitely has, and I remember talking to a friend about it, and it's insane because there are some people who literally don't end up with their inheritance because they can't afford to pay the tax on it. They're just like, I don't want it then.
It's like I paid into a pension pot for 30 years, private pension, because when I was originally self-employed, and then obviously I went to work for university. So it's a little pot of money, but if I take that money, it's still there, that pot of money. Luckily, we haven't used it. We may get used with the move, but we're hoping not to. The minute I take that money out of where it is, I pay tax on it. I pay 20% tax on it. You know, we're talking 25 grand, something like that, you know. So, I mean,
but you shouldn't have
paid
to because
into
you've
that all
already
these
paid
years.
tax.
No, I paid into it from
your earnings, which you've paid tax on. It's a loophole because the governments, they have you have income tax, and then you have other different types of taxes, right? And the thing with income taxes, they're usually like they're a local state type institutional tax, and they're not necessarily federal. They're probably set federally, right? But they are collected in Australia and in the US. They're collected at state level. I don't know what they're like in the UK. I'm pretty sure it's like Wales would have one, England would have one, Scotland would have one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we say national level, wouldn't we? But yeah.
So it'd be your income tax would be collected by the Scottish government and the Wales government and the England government. You know, that's how it would be collected. So technically, they can say that they can tax you again because it's a different type of service that they're taxing you for. And I think this whole thing is just all really, really just tricks to get ways of governments to earn more money from you.
They'll tax you for. I mean, they'll tax you for anything on a slight different thing. Look at car tax at the moment, and they say go electric because you don't have to pay car tax on the electric. When everyone's gone electric, what they're going to do?
They're going to go electric.
Car tax on the electric. They'll bring you another car tax in.
Yeah. Electric car tax.
Electric car tax.
I think it'll be like France, and it'll be tolls on motorways.
Well,
we've got that. We've got that.
I heard something about that recently.
Not where we live. So we've got tolls over in the east, but luckily so far they haven't reached my side of the country here. And I reckon the next government comes and they'll put it in. I'm almost betting on it.
Well, you'll have your clean air tax.
Fart tax.
Yeah, well, we've got that in London and Manchester, haven't we?
There goes another tenner.
Yeah, well, it's not in Manchester yet. But it's still,
I thought it would come in, hadn't it? Is it still under review?
£15 right there.
No, they've got all the cameras and they're in review.
That's a £30 at that
and
one.
this all kicked off before London.
What was it? Demolition Man, that movie. Do you remember that? Every time he swore, there was some little thing that triggered that shit.
Receipt Bristol, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is it Bristol that's taken it?
Yeah.
You could never work out the 3 shells thing.
Yeah.
3 seashells.
Yeah, Bristol.
Well, I'm thoroughly depressed now, and it's not to do with fart jokes.
The 3 shells.
Death and taxes, brilliant.
Oh no, this show's
Always comes down to that.
My VAT will be coming up soon as well.
Bring back fart tax.
Oh.
That'll save us.
We have to pay that so often.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, I'm going to probably hand it because it's like I've already turned into a pumpkin because I'm talking about tax now.
I like how they call it value-added tax, right? Isn't that's always a great name?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Whose value for what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll add it.
The government values it. Trust me, they value it a lot.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Just try not to pay tax on your synths.
Yeah. Exactly. Well,
Yeah,
we do.
we do.
Well, we used to have a loophole. If you bought out of state, you wouldn't pay the sales tax. And then once everything went to Reverb and eBay and all that stuff, it's all connected now. You can't get away from paying tax.
You have to live
anymore.
in Delaware, don't you, or something now, to get.
Yeah, there's some states that still kind of do that.
Yeah. All right, guys. All the best. Have an awesome week, and we'll see you next Saturday. Some of us are missing, but you guys will work it out.
See you in a fortnight.
Alrighty.
Watch out for human waste out there.
Later, guys.
TFN.
Take care.
Bye. Bye.